रेणुका मॅडम तुमच्याकडे आहे का मात्र द्यावी?
नाहीये सर, माझ्याकडे नाहीये. शेअर करावं लागेल तुम्हाला.
मग राहू द्या ना, 2च मिनिटाचं काम आहे ना.
ठीक आहे, ठीक आहे.
अच्छा, रॉकी साहेब जॉईन झाले. गुड मॉर्निंग रॉकी जी.
Good morning, sir.
हाउ आर यू?
I am okay, sir. Good morning to all on the forum or on the list.
So, ready for entire day marathon?
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
So I have shared all the links on Moodle platform.
Okay.
तो आपने दिए थे ना कोलैब के Moodle पे डाल दिए. वो जो मेल था आपका, that mail also forwarded to all the participants.
Installation process of Tableau.
हाँ, installation process of Tableau, exactly. वो सब चीजें डाल दी है. और उसके साथ में जो एक आपने एक्सेल फाइल में डेटा शीट डेटा दिया था ना उसको.
Superstore.
Yes, Superstore. That also separately मेल में attached है और वो अलग से Moodle पे भी डाल दिया ताकि anybody surface here and there तो मिल जाए.
Perfect, sir.
And कल स्पेशल इंस्ट्रक्शन भी दिए कि सब बाबा डाउनलोड करके रखने का, इंस्टॉलेशन करके रखने का.
Okay.
Yes. Now rest is you. In your hand. Tell me.
Yes, definitely. So today evening I will talk about after finishing with the today evening's case study. I will take 10 minutes time out and we will talk about the installation process of Tableau so that everybody can see it on my screen running also.
Yeah.
So we are comfortable to know about it.
Yes, that will be good. That will be good. And there are many participants from our FDP1 and 2 majorly.
Wow.
But I think around 10 to 10 will be new.
That's very nice. Very nice. Sir, once again for this FDP3 also the response would have been very good. Although the turnout ratio of participants at the end of the day who remain continue up till the end is always low. It decreases like a capacitor discharge graph. But
that is very surprising. we did everything, all kinds of flexibility provided. पता नहीं फर्स्ट डे को इतना रिस्पांस आता है पहले और फिर वो धीरे-धीरे.
Right. So that is always the case in every workshop. So that is universal rule.
But anyway, I'm not bothered about that now because our 30-40 जो लोग है ना वो जो genuinely interested है, they are always with us. They are connected. अभी आज देखना आपको वही लोग वही नाम सब दिखेंगे.
Oh wow, very good.
And that's good, ना? That's good because FDP 1, 2, 3 में उन्होंने सीख लिया है सब. Good.
Correct.
इस पे से हमको पता चल जाता है अपना इंसाइट बगैर एआई एमएल लगा है कि कौन सर्टिफिकेट के लिए इंटरेस्टेड है और कौन लर्निंग में इंटरेस्टेड है.
Correct. Exactly. वो आप as a coordinator you come to know everything.
Yes. तो 2 मिनट में चालू कर देंगे है ना.
हाँ sir, by around 10 to 10:03 some of yourself or your colleague and then we will start by 10:05.
Yeah. Pramod sir is there. Pramod sir wants to introduce you.
Yes sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
Pramod sir, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good morning, one and all. I once again welcome you on our second day of AICT sponsored FDP on insights into intelligent automation, machine learning, and data science. Today, we have with us our expert speaker, Mr. Rocky Jagtiani, Head Training and Content Development, Suven Consultant and Technology Private Limited, Adjunct Professor and Industry Mentor, S.P.I.T. Sir is a mentor to many top engineering colleges for training faculties through FDPs and bootcamps. He is involved in mentoring students on skill-based subjects like problem solving in Java data structures, data analytics, statistics using Excel, machine learning, and advanced machine learning focusing on natural language processing. Mr. Rocky Jagtiani sir has 19 years of training experience in open source technologies like Java, Python, JavaScript, databases, and machine learning. By profession, he is excellent, qualified technology trainer in following technologies: web development using PHP, Python, Java programming, mobile app development training in Android, Oracle SQL, PL SQL programming, machine learning, deep learning using Python. As a passion, he loved to analyze IT job requirements of client companies and source people with most relevant skill sets. This helps both the companies and the deserving candidates. He is registered as freelance trainer with L&D departments of 17 IT MNCs in India. He loves to analyze data using tools like ClickView, Tableau, and Orange, as well solve real problems using Python and Java. Sir has trained more than 15,000 young working professionals. Okay, 0 to 6 years work experience till date. He has conducted a lot of Android workshops across colleges in Mumbai. Many of the certifications done are Oracle Database Associate, Google Analytics, Pandas and NLP, Oracle Certified Java Professional, Python and Machine Learning, HackerRank Certified. Sir has various interests: cycling and walking, keep healthy for higher productivity, organizing social events, acting as a volunteer in social causes and awareness. Sir has also involved in many social commitments. Once again, from on behalf of organizing committee of S.P.I.T, I welcome Mr. Rocky Jagtiani sir. Sir, we will cover today life cycle of data science, pre-processing, modeling, and data analytics. I welcome you, Mr. Rocky Jagtiani sir. Over to you, Rocky sir.
Thank you, Pramod sir. Thank you very much. Right. So I hope all the participants are in place on their terminals. And I would request all of you to open a Colab notebooks which have been shared through our backend committee through the Moodle. So good morning once again to all of this people. Have anyone who just joined in late? Okay. Now, friends, let me give you an entire flow of what I have planned for the 2.5 days of my interaction which I have been allotted with all of you. So what I have planned for this 2.5 days. I hope my screen is visible and it's clear. I have shared my screen. Could anybody acknowledge yes on the chat, please?
Yes, so your screen is visible.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you. Right. Now, friends, let's have a look at this. The point here is that giving an entire life cycle of data science. Theoretically, yes, all of you know because I can recall the names which are punching yes on the chat right now. Indrajit, Dr. Chetna, Manoj, Vaishali, Payal. I don't know. I have not heard of this name in FDP1. Maybe I missed her out. So Vismita is there. Yes, I remember her FDP1, FDP2, vagera, vagera. So what I can notice is that all of you people were there FDP1, FDP2, and now part of FDP3 also. So you have got like quite familiarized with the fact that data science is all about analyzing data. You have also been able to analyze the fact that data science is of a sort. It follows a very beautiful pattern where you first hunt for data, It's like a treasure hunt game because data, when you actually start working on real-time projects, I spoke about my experience with working on the second largest private bank in India, in along with their AI team. This was way back in the year 2018. I was so lucky. I felt privileged and blessed from God that they had given me about 2 weeks of training program, but they changed my work order after my 2 weeks of training program to 6 months of consultancy on their entire project. They told me, Rocky, you're a part of our team now. So, so what I realized in that 6 months is, although we were doing a project for a bank who had humongous data, but they never give us the data. I'm not joking. This is the fact. They never give us the data. They only give us a small sample of the data due to privacy norms, this norms, that norms. My goodness, they had every bloody legal clause put in their documentation in the work order. Okay, so the point was that only a sample of the data was given to us. They didn't give us actual or complete. They gave us sample of real-time data only, which is a few lakhs of records, but they never gave us the entire data. So right from the treasure hunting of data, your journey starts. And after you get your data in hand, the data probably will not be clean. So it would require some kind of pre-cleaning. It's going to be requiring some kind of pre-cleaning. And when it's going to be requiring some kind of pre-cleaning, naturally, you have to clean the data, right? So once you are going to, I'll remove the word pre. Pre means is going to do it before any kind of processing. So I'll just put cleaning of my data. Once my data cleaning is done, my next work is going to be my data needs to get processed. So that leads to pre-processing of my data. And when we do our pre-processing of our data, we move on to actually doing our ML modeling over it to get output in one of the three forms. If it's a prediction based problem, you are going to apply some regression ML algorithm. I know you know most of them already. In fact, you know more than I know, because what I knew I shared with you, but you have heard 20 more experts like me over these 2 months. So I'm sure all of you know more than me. So regression is one kind of problem. The second kind of problem is classification. And the third kind of problem is clustering. Yes, there are more like associative patterning, which is used in market basket analysis. So I'm not talking of them right now because I didn't find them anywhere in the syllabus of FDP1, FDP2, so I'm not talking about other techniques. So regression, classification, clustering, and a few more techniques. So ultimately, ML modeling will look at the data, will use human common sense and human intelligence, uh, and will decide what kind of algorithm I should apply and get the results according. The life cycle doesn't end here. You have got some results, but you do not know. You have got some results, but you do not know, are they good or bad? So obviously, to know the results are good or bad, you will use some kind of metrics. So some kind of performance metric should be used. For example, if it's a regression based problem, you're going to use a metrics like RMSE, root mean squared error. If it's a problem related to classification, I'm going to use a term like accuracy, which measures the number of misclassifications. So accordingly, I can come to know whether my model is acceptable or not acceptable. If my model is accepted, if my model is accepted, but it's with a clause, it's with the terms and conditions. So your client says, I'm accepting your model provided you improve the performance by 5%. So when I say improve the performance by 5%, I mean to say either increase the accuracy by 5% of what you have, or you reduce the error by 5% of what you're getting right now. So you are accepting the model, with certain terms and conditions which your client has given you. The client is the one who's going to pay you, so you have to listen to him. So ultimately, he's paying you for your work. So accuracy and RMSE. or maybe some other parameter which either has to be increased or decreased, whatever. But some performance metric has to be improved. Now, this gives you the motivation that there are some parameters in every machine learning algo. Those parameters are called as hyperparameters. Nothing but the basic parameters or arguments which you pass to a function. Those parameters are only called as hyperparameters in ML. These hyperparameters have to be tuned. Now, why we use the word tuning? Imagine you're driving on a highway Bombay Pune. I'm sure you would have noticed if you drive Bombay Pune or Bombay Nagpur on the highway, your radio FM becomes very unclear. All the FM channels become very unclear. So what we do is that we do little tuning. 92.7 is not coming clear at 92.7. Alter it a bit here and there. 92.75 पर 92.7 बराबर काम कर रहा है. What do? You know, is a little tuning. So at the frequency 92.75, you're actually hearing 92.7 radio channel very well. This little tuning was done. But moment reached to Pune city once again, 92.7 will be 92.7 only. So this tuning helped you to improve the performance a bit. And once the performance is got up to the mark, the next job is going to be the client will say, okay, you're ready with your model. Fine. Let's deploy the ML model. Let's deploy the ML model. I hope you all are recalling. In FDP1 or FDP2, even I don't remember, but in one of the FDPs, we deployed our ML model on Flask. And once the model was deployed on Flask, a URL was generated. And this URL is going to be given to the client. And the client will be asked to perform a test. Now, if the client after testing is happy with your model, he finally makes the final payment and takes the model from you and deploys it on his server. And if not, you repeat the whole cycle. You're back to square one. He says, no, sorry, I don't like your model. Now, where is the fault in the model? Is the data not properly cleaned? Therefore, the productivity, efficiency, accuracy is reducing? Or is it because of the fact that the pre-processing wasn't done sufficiently? The ML model was wrongly selected? Or the metric used for reporting is not accurate because you should have chosen, you should have taken an average of many RMSEs. Example, instead of taking a single decision tree, you should have taken a random forest, which is a collection of decision trees. That means you should have taken ensemble algorithms rather than taking individual algos. Or the data on which your client is testing is quite different from what he had given to you for training purpose. Could be many reasons. You and the client both have to get together to explore that. And only when you and your client get together to explore that, only then can the client get the right solution and you can get your money. Otherwise, both are in a deadlock condition. So you and your client get together to actually solve the problem at hand. And once that is done, everyone is good to go and they can actually deploy the ML model and start using it. Now, obviously, it's not possible to look at every angle of the entire phase at one go. So, leaving the deployment part, I repeat, leaving the deployment part, because deployment itself is a 2 hour, 3 hour process, and the deployment is a very standard process. Whichever model I make, I repeat, whichever model I make, the way you have to deploy it is same. And because the S.P.I.T team has been very proactive, they have recorded all the videos for all the expert trainers whom they have invited, and they have made a YouTube channel and they're maintaining it. So you can always go back to the YouTube channel and find the required videos of how to install it over Flask. It was conducted in FDP2. That leaving the deployment part, everything is covered in this notebook, right from point A to point Z. Now, what to do in this entire 2.5 sessions? Please let me tell that also, so that you are warmed up and excited about all this. The very first is, today we are going to do a simple case study, although it is not so simple, but I will say it's simple to motivate everyone. So we will be able to see the steps A to Z as the name of the program of the topic today suggests. So we will be looking at A to Z. Of course, all A to Z steps will not come, but most of them will come. The next part that happens is that in the evening today, I wanted to take you live on to the most popular news channel feed called Reddit News. Reddit News is one of the most popular news feeds uh, in the US, and Reddit has news sections for India and for all the countries. And Reddit has a lot of sections: politics, movies, entertainment, fashion, uh, then other sections. So a lot of sections are there in Reddit. Now the point is that we all in the evening today would create a developer account on Reddit, each one of us, okay, and we'll get live news feeds from Reddit, and we will analyze the sentiments of the live news feeds. So right now, whatever news channels are speaking, I'm talking on news channels like BBC, I'm talking on news channels like Al Jazeera, I'm not talking on news channels like India TV or India Today or Aaj Tak. No, no, no. They mostly give you stale news which is already over 4 or 5 hours ago, and they do a lot of storytelling around the news. So news is less, storytelling is more. I'm talking of news channels like BBC or Al Jazeera who talk about the news. So many of them have their feed tie-ups with Reddit. So at this point of time, whatever the latest news of the world politics or maybe of US politics or maybe India politics, whatever we should take, we can take that and we can do a sentiment analysis of those news feeds. Obviously, in the evening, you will ask me that, Rocky ji, what advice doing a sentiment analysis of news? Maybe instead of I answering this, if somebody else can answer, I would be more than happy. Okay, because it's a very important thing. News influences your daily life, and your investment decisions, your finance decisions, your buying a house or not buying a house decisions, all gets influenced with the news. If you're planning to buy a house near your home, very presently say you plan to buy a second home or a second house, a little bigger, and it's costing you, let's say, 3 crores or 4 crores. Say, let's say you stay in Andheri and you want to buy a 3 BHK flat, comes about maybe about 3 CR. So if you want to buy a 3 CR investment and tomorrow India China is doing a war at the border, will you go ahead buying it? I don't think so. You will postpone your decision. Why did you postpone? Because your sentiments towards the property has gone negative. What is so negative? India China पर वहाँ war हो रहा है. What is negative in Andheri? Where is Andheri and where is bloody border? But still, your decisions are getting influenced, is it or not? That very clearly tells us that news influences of what we do and how we do it. So let's not take this very lightly. It's very important because the general public, how we take the sentiments onto us. Then I got a request in the previous FDP2. I believe I took that second last entire day, and Ratho sir was uh, very open minded to give me honest feedbacks of all the people. He told me that people are happy with what you're teaching, but they have requested that they want to work more on data visualization. So I requested sir, and I was happy that he accepted my request. I told him, sir, if they really want to work in data visualization, then please privilege me, allow me to teach them one of the business intelligence tools like Tableau and ClickView. Although I'm not officially certified, I don't feel that certification is important. That paying $100 to Tableau to get a certificate doesn't make sense. I know enough of it. So uh, I told him, give me the privilege to teach them either Tableau or ClickView. Tableau is very popular and easier. ClickView is little difficult, but ClickView is also equally popular. So Power BI, Tableau, and ClickView are three very popular BI tools. BI stands for Business Intelligence Tools. They are meant only for data visualization. So what I did was I took a sales data, not supply chain management, but very it. So I got a super sales data, and it has data about sale of about 10,000 odd products, divided into various categories, where they were sold, in which country or which state of the US they were sold the most or least, वगैरह वगैरह. So it's enough of the data that we have. And on that data, I'll be training you complete on Tableau. That's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow entire day will be complete Tableau training. And today evening, I'll just show you also about the interface of Tableau. and the installation steps have already been mailed by the backend committee team members to all the FDP3 participants of Tableau. So if anybody has not got the mail, should please connect with some of the backend team members of the coordinating committee. Now, so having done this, there was one more request also. There was one request that can we look at something in supply chain management? Best, I've taken care of that. So what I've done is that I've got a supply chain management data, and I want each one of you to do a mini assignment, which should take you about 4 or 5 hours. So if you give 1 to 1 or maybe 2 hours every day, you should be able to finish it in 2 or 3 days. So that is an assignment is also going to be assessed. Huh? That's an assignment that is going to be assessed as a part of a certification process in FDP3. So I have given supply chain management data to Sir, and Rathore Sir accepted the data. The data was very valid. It has entries for about few 10,000 plus records of the vaccination supplied by who, vaccination supplied by who, World Health Organization, to the underdeveloped countries like South Africa and so on and so forth. So I should use the word poor underdeveloped countries who has given vaccination, and they have been doing that from the last 10 years related to HIV/AIDS, which is given to the pregnant woman. And the data is about logistics of how this how the medicine is picked up from the manufacturing unit of Pfizer, Dr. Reddy's, or vagara vagara, so many companies in the US for manufacturing it. And from the manufacturing unit, it is delivered to the spot. So how is it delivered? Delivered through ship, through truck, through airlines, through what are they called as? I forgot. Drones. Yes, this is delivered through drones also. And who is doing it? So who is picking up the units for the manufacturing and giving it out to the spots where they have to be supplied? Remember, these are vaccines. They are not crocin tablets that you can pack them in a box and send it. They are vaccines. They have to be stored at a particular temperature. So the logistics is a big headache. Not easy, right? So now this is the data which we have, and you have to do a Tableau assignment. What has to be done precisely has been given. Very clear instructions have been given what exactly has to be done. Trust me, it will not take you more than 4 hours if you pay attention to the Tableau work. So your data visualization will become super solid. And your Python coding anyway is super solid. I'm just revising everything today and tomorrow. So with this note, let's take over. So friends, please come on to your first notebook, which is predicting whether a question on Quora. Now this is a live competition conducted by Quora for, if you wish to have a look, the link is given in your collab notebook, friends. I have a humble request to just click on that link so that it opens in your browser tab. Please do it. Oh, don't tell me. How can they remove the page? Uh, Friends, there should be a link. I modified the link in your collab notebook. Can anybody punch in that link on the chat, please? In your collab notebook opening, there is a link. No, don't give me the collab link, my friends. In the collab notebook, there is a link for going to the Kaggle data source. Yes, correct. Because I had changed this link because right. So this was a competition conducted 2 years back, and I do keep participating in this competition. Who knows KBC जैसा कुछ lucky हो जाए कभी कोई, right? So the Quora insincere questions classification. This was conducted by Quora for all the people who are enthusiasts and performers on Kaggle, and anybody can join in. Prize money was about 25,000. So what Quora wanted was, and Quora was facing this sincerity problem a lot. Quora insincere questions classification goes something like this. See now, friends, Quora is a platform which is having about approximately about 40 million active users. Okay, at any point of time, they're having 14 million active users. I'm not talking about users. Users are many. Users could be in billion. Talking of active users. So, and 2 years back at Andheri, Quora conducts a meetup. This year they couldn't conduct, but last year also they conducted, and year before that also they conducted. So, and Quora organizes this meetup every year for where industry people and students or people who are active on Quora can actually meet up. So one of my family members is very active on Quora. He keeps answering questions and all that stuff. So he's quite active. He has enough number of followers there. Okay, so not praising anybody, but the point is that he got a invitation ticket. It's on invite. It's not, nobody can just can't walk in like this. So he got an invite from Bombay. So Bombay Quora meetup happened at Andheri 2 years back. Last year it never happened, or last year it may have happened, but he didn't get the invite, so I don't know. So on the meetup, they discuss all these problems, and they discuss many problems. One of the problems was this only. Now, point that happens is many people actually ask very toxic questions on the Quora platform, and because the questions are very toxic, they're either they're politically motivated or they're culturally biased. So when these things actually keep coming in, uh, it actually is not a question. No, it is not a question. It is basically a statement which somebody is making to brainwash a larger crowd. So these things should be prevented. Now, you will not believe that a Quora's core team is less than 25 people. Quora's core IT team is less than 25 people. Now, a 25 people team having 14 million users, 40 million active users, either questioning or they're answering questions, is impossible to tackle, right? But then those people are doing it, and they can't recruit more people because it's a free platform. They're working on digital ads which keep coming on Quora. So their model is cannot afford to increase their work strength now. So Quora wants to tackle this problem head on to keep their platform a place where users feel safe when they share their knowledge with the world. They shouldn't get trolled. You see? So now what is the insincere question? Insincere question is a question which is not actually asking for an answer. It is making a statement. Black people are dishonest in the US. Is this a question? It's nonsense. It's you are making a statement. It's not a question. So Samsung phones are you can ask, are Samsung phones better than MI phones? Is a question. Samsung phones are better than MI phones, isn't it? Is this the question? No, you have made a statement. You have made a biased question, which is already showing your reflections or your mindset towards a particular object. You're not asking for an answer. So I don't want these insincere questions, is what Quora is saying us. If you put an insincere question, this is the kind of message which you will get. And you will be uh, given actually two such attempts. If you get this notice for the second time, this notice will change. And this notice will show that we are going to block you for 1 week. If you do it for a third time, your account is permanently blocked. Permanently blocked on that email ID. So you cannot log in from that email ID. So now the point is, how do this actually identify? That's a very interesting thing. So what Quora did was, Quora made two data sets from its existing data. One is train.csv, one is test.csv. Both are having a few million records. It's available on the link which I've given you on Kaggle. And it's also available on the links, drive links which I've given you in the collab notebook. The train.csv file, my friends, are having three features: the identification ID of the question, the actual text asked in the question, and a target. Target means according to Quora, through manual intervention, that means through a human, they have either marked a question as insincere or they have marked a question as sincere. So if a question is labeled insincere, has a value as 1, that means the question is toxic. If the label of target is 1, that means question is toxic, is dangerous. And otherwise, if the question is normal as a question, it is marked as 0. So question ID, question text, and target. The moment you see the word target, your brain should click. You should get a kick there. Yeah, this is supervised learning. Nobody will come and tell you anything. Quora not telling you do supervised learning on my data. No. Quora is just giving the data set. Khatam. And Quora has given this problem to you. Business view. And what are insincere questions? Now you have to take it forward from this point. So the very first thing you need to understand is that how do you formulate a problem? So once you have got this data in hand, I can very clearly notice that Quora has taken care of the privacy of its users. They have not given you who has posted this question. Have Rocky Jagtiani posted this question? Or is it Indrajit? Or is it are there other friends of ours who's posted this question? No, we don't know. We just have a question in front of us. Okay, and we have the label. Now the label has been given by humans working at Quora. You can ignore I have imported a lot of libraries because I needed to do the assignment. I have also checked the versions over here, so please run both the cells. Please run cell 1 where I'm importing the libraries and the cell 2 where I'm printing the versions. Now I wish to tell you why I'm printing the versions. I'll come to it. Okay, now do a little self-verification. All of you can do a little self-verification on the fact that you have been given with the versions. Now I'm using these versions like Matplotlib version 3, scikit-learn version 0.22, maybe in your case it is 0.25 or 0.26, SciPy 1.4. Please verify that whichever notebook you are using, whether it's Colab notebook or you downloaded and using in Jupyter, you're using on MacBook, using on Linux, wherever you're using or running this piece of code, are the libraries on your system at least this much or above? Please verify visually. And ping me a yes. If your libraries are same or above, you are safe. Perfect. So some people have punched in yes, same or above. Very good. Excellent, friends. Okay. So what I can notice here is why I have done this, because things, see, when we look at coding, there are certain things which are version dependent. If let's say if I'm using a version of Cborn as version 10 and you are using version 8, then you may not get the output same as what I'm getting. But if I'm using version 10 or using version 12, you will definitely get either the same output or a better output. You will not get a worst output. There is a possibility that some methods deprecated in the higher versions. So that we can resolve it. But lower version problems we cannot resolve. My code will not run, no? So that's the reason this versioning was important. Right. Now, what we will do first, even any data set comes to you in real life, any data set, before you even think of M of ML or D of deep learning or N of neural networks, before you even think about it, please, thumb rule, you have to do an EDA over it. The EDA, exploratory data analysis, has a basket of things: data collection, data cleaning, data pre-processing, visualization. All the four things. They can be done in any sequence or whatever you like to. It's not important that you should visualize the data and then clean. I can first visualize and then clean. I can first clean and then visualize. Both are okay. I may do intermixing. I may clean, visualize, again clean, again visualize. Now, friends, please notice, before this cell, which you see on my screen, in your Colab notebook, you would be having two Google Drive links. The first Google Drive link is help you to download the Quora train test.csv, and the second Link is helping you to download the Quora testdata.csv. So please do the needful. Download the data on your local PC and upload it in your Colab. If data uploading is done, you will punch on the chat as data uploaded. It may take time. Data is big. But it will not take more than a few minutes. Maybe 2 or 3 minutes, that's done. Vismita is going super fast today. I'm sure she's had adrak wali chai. She says data uploaded. Super. Correct. Data is in few GBs. That's right. So if all are finished with the downloading of data and they are uploading it, make sure you have to all punch when the data has got uploaded. You have to write data uploaded on the chat. Okay. So friends, let's do a little multitasking. While your data is getting downloaded, and then later you will also upload it. In the meantime, let us try to understand the code cells, the individual code cells which is there on my screen. And there is a possibility that some code cells in your notebook may be missing. Ideally, they are expected to be coded, but today evening I'll make you code. Today evening I'll not copy paste and give you the code. This case I will, yes, I'll give you because today is a warm up day. First day of the FDP3 where you're coding actually. But today evening is not the first day. No? Today is evening second session of coding. So today evening you will write every code. You will not be given any code on the chat. You will see and type the code. Okay. Now let's have a look at this. So friends, after I have uploaded my data onto Colab, what I am doing is I am doing pandas.read CSV to read my entire CSV file into train large and test large. So my two data sets. Why I'm naming them large? Because they are really large. Because they are having about close to about 4 or 5 lakh records, and test data is having about close to about a lakh records. I've loaded my data into two data frames, train large and test large. Next. When I use the function called sample, I am sampling my data. That means I'm taking a random sample of n equal to 1 lakh. So out of maybe 5 lakh records which is there in this train large, I'm picking up at random 1 lakh records. Now when you pick up at random 1 lakh records, it is natural that it will pick up records of different indexes. It could pick up record of, let's say, index 1 and then index 10 and then index 233, right? So if your data comes like this, index 1 is 2, it's okay, but these indexes should be reset back to 0, 1, 2 in the new data frame which you are getting. I repeat, in the new data frame which you are getting, you should reset your indexes. So train large dot sample n equal to 1 lakh will pick up 1 lakh records, but I'm resetting the index so that I'm changing the indexes back to 0, 1, 2, and I'm drop equal to true means I'm dropping the old indexes. So old indexes got dropped, new indexes have come that look decent in my data frame called train. So now having said this, that I got my train data frame as having 1 lakh records and my test data frame similarly having 10,000 records in the test. Somebody asked me, Rocky ji, why don't you use the entire data set? Then I told him, this execution of this notebook will not happen in 3 hours. It will happen in 9 hours. So if you're willing, if you have the patience to sit in front of your PC, that every cell you run and you wait for 25, 30 minutes, cool, do it. So as I told you last time in FDP2 and FDP1, we all are working on the laptops, which have limited processing power and limited RAM. So we really cannot deal with real-time data set. This is real-time data set. If you want to deal with the full real-time data set, you have to have a server machine with high GPU and high RAM on your system. You cannot work on the laptops. Laptops cannot handle such large data on machine learning applications. Okay. Now, having said this, that I've got 1 lakh records of my train data set and 10,000 records of my test data set. Next what? Obviously my curiosity, your curiosity, that we would like to look at the head of the data. I would request my friends that to please highlight me if there is any code missing. I think this code of loading the data is already there. Please tell me yes or no. Vaishali says no. Okay, so Vaishali, as you can see from my screen, from which line number the code is missing? Okay, line number 4 से आप कह रहे हो code missing है. Okay, right. But see, if I punch this code to you, please be very careful that in your case data sets will not come up because your file name is going to be from the name of the file. Data set is in my case because I'm loading it from a local machine. See, if anybody here knows Jupyter and they have been working on Jupyter, they're comfortable working on Jupyter, either through the workshop or at their personal level, then I would advise you that if you run this notebook in Jupyter and keep this data set locally on your PC, then it will be much faster. Because at Colab also it is going to be fast only in execution, but the time it takes to upload to Colab is a little more. Maybe 15-20 minutes it will take to upload. I have given you this code, friends, so that you can copy paste it in the right cell. Please don't keep waiting for data to load. Don't run this cell, but copy paste and keep the code ready in your cell. Once data loading is done, you can quickly run the cell. Okay. And please, for one-liner codes, don't expect me to punch the code on the chat. No. For one-liner codes, you should type it yourself. As you can see on the screen, go on typing. So my inclusiveness, I want to see my data. So I have done train.head. When I did train.head, I got the data in this form. Have a look. What data, in what format it is coming. You have a big alphanumeric number, which is a question ID, which uniquely identifies every question asked on Quora. This is the question. And the target variable is human labeled by Quora staff. We have human labeled it, where 0 corresponds to, and this is a sincere question, non-toxic. And 1 says, this is not a sincere question, this is toxic. Okay? Now, obviously, after doing a train.head, my next curiosity would be that I also wish to see the test.head. So, test.head, just running it. What I can see is, in test.head, I have got 2 columns, question ID and question text, where the question ID is a unique question and the question text is so and so. We're wondering where is the target. Target cannot be there. This is test data. It is our responsibility to find whether this question is toxic or not toxic. If it is not toxic, it will be 0. If it is toxic, it's going to be 1. Okay, right. Now let me come down to some query solving on the chat, friends. Vaishali, you mentioned that you're getting a value error. Can you be a little more elaborate where you're getting the value error while loading the data? Okay, then let's check couple of things. First, Vikas says it is working faster. It will work much faster on Jupyter because Jupyter is local, no? It's your data is kept local on your machine, so it's going to work faster. Vaishali, see, when loading your data, getting a value error could only mean that, did you check this? That read CSV cannot take a larger sample than population when replace equal to false. But where is replace equal to false? Where have I used replace equal to false in this? I don't understand. I haven't used this in my code here. No.
Sir, the same code I'm running, sir, the train underscore large is equal to pd.read underscore CSV, that code. There I'm getting this error.
Okay, you're getting this error. Okay. I thought you have used replace equal to false option in reason index. Okay. So in that particular case, I'm doubtful you should get this error because the size of core train set is about 5 lakh records. So I'm just taking 1 lakh records from it. Please check on this too. That is 1 lakh and 10,000. These numbers have maybe gone above. So replace equal to false means that when you do a sampling now, the sampling actually works on taking the data. So if the train large is having less than 1 lakh records, I repeat, if it is having less than 1 lakh records, then train large के ऊपर हम अगर sample करेंगे वैशाली and we ask him to give me 1 lakh records, how will he do? Then in that case we'll have to allow replacement of records so that records can get repeated and you can get, let's say if you have 90,000 records here, out of 90,000 I ask you to extract 1 lakh. How can you extract 1 lakh out of 90,000? It's impossible. So in sample we give a second parameter as replace equal to. This is what we do when the size of the data is less and the sample I want to generate is more. But that is not the case here. So I think something has gone wrong with the loading of the data. Or maybe you have ran this cell. Vishali, please check. You have maybe have ran this cell without getting 100% data load in the previous cell here. Please verify that your test data and train data are 100% loaded and then only you have ran this cell of yours.
Sir, I have mounted the train data in the Google Drive using the drive.mount and the test data I have uploaded. So will it not work?
It's going to work. Yes, it's going to work. No problems. It's going to work. So what you can do is that you can give replace equal to true and do it. Your problem will be solved immediately. Put replace equal to true.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So now how many people have done with uploading of data? Come on. Give me that news. Data uploaded. Mandana says 40% done. Dr. Nirbhay 35% done. Good. Okay. So work is in progress. Yes. I hope you are also putting that one line codes like train.head, test.head in the cells which are having missing code. So keep viewing and so don't worry about the data. You just make sure that you're putting your codes in the right place. Okay. Now, Friends, looking at the Quora data set, because I have loaded only 1 lakh rows for train data set, I thought I should get an information about it. Information will help me to know which column is having null or not available data. So I can see very clearly that range index is that it has got 1 lakh records. Out of 1 lakh records, the entries go from 0 to 99,999. Total of 3 columns, as you could see. Question ID, all 1 lakh not null values. Question text, nothing missing. Target, nothing missing. That's very good news for all of us. That means Quora has given us neat and clean data. Nothing is missing. Usually when a company is giving you data, it will not have been missing. Usually. And this is because this is a live project. This is a live data you're working on. You're not working on artificial data. Next. I thought I should do a test.info also. And test.info is showing that there are 10,000 values in question ID and question text. So nothing is not null, nothing is null. That's again a good news for us, that the data which is given to us by Quora for the competition, for the analysis, is neat and clean. Yeah. Now, let me check the shape of data. Although we know that the shape of train is 1 lakh by 3 and the shape of test is 10,000 by 2, because we only have selected these many rows. Remember, we have only selected these many rows. Otherwise, the number of records actually in train is about 4 or 5 lakhs, and about test is about a lakh of records. But out of that, we have selected 1 lakh and 10,000 respectively. So if you can notice superficially that my data distribution is like 90-10. 90% for training and 10% for testing. And the best part here is the data which I'm using for testing, is never seen by the ML model while you're training, because I have not taken the data of 1 lakh and split into 2 parts. I have a separate data set for training and a separate data set for testing, isn't it? Right? So till this point, please check your code cells. Till this point, please check your code cells. Are all the code cells complete till this point? In case if they're not, I hope you're typing your codes. And if you couldn't type something, you missed something, please ask me. I'll scroll my screen there. Dr. Pushpa, somebody could please in the backend team, please reshare the collab link with Dr. Pushpa on the chat. The collab link. Dr. Pushpa, the collab link is having links for all the data sets. Everything is there. Yeah, Ratho sir himself has shared the link to the collab notebook. Okay, Dr. Nirbhay has a question here. What is the use of 3 in shape of train? Yeah, so 1500 rows and 3 columns. Dr. Nirbhay, we are not working on 1500 records. That's too less. So please be sure that I have commented this line of code, huh? Please be sure, huh? I have commented train and test of 1500 and 100 lines of code. I've kept this commented. By mistake, don't turn this on, please. You're going to work on 1 lakh records for training and 10,000 records for testing. So please be careful, Dr. Nirbhay, to run all your cells again. So till this point, it seems Vandana says done. Vikas says done. Up to this point, shape of train and test data. Vandana says coding done. Fantastic. Okay. Friends, have to get other acknowledgements, right? 4 people have acknowledged that what they're seeing in the code cell is there with them. If others don't have it, please tell me. I'll punch it over the group. Tell me which code cell is not there. Okay, Manoj is acknowledging that we have these code cells. Fantastic. So I believe we can move further. To be very honest, friends, no data cleaning is required in this data set. Preprocessing lot is required, but cleaning is not required. When dealing with real world data, dirty data is the norm rather than an exception. Yes, I agree. But here, it is not the case. Here, the data is clean because it's given by a client. How many NA elements in every column? NA were not available in every column. I think from the info method above, we understood that all the columns are having complete data. So still, if you want to doubly verify, we can do this kind of code. Train data frame dot is null will find is there any null values dot sum will take the summation of total number of null values. So if you have 5 null values, sum will report to you 5. So let us see. I'm running this code. If this one line code is not there, please tell me as yes or no, not there or there on the chat. So accordingly, I can punch it over the group. Okay. So you will notice a difference. You notice the output which I've got is 0 for every column, which means every question ID, every question text, and every target is present in my training data set. Nothing is missing. Now, suppose if there were some NA values, maybe 5, 10, 20, 15, 20, like this, 1 or 2%. I repeat, suppose there were some missing values, or like few missing, 5 or 10 or 20 missing values. Example, Vaishali is telling me that question text and target, I'm getting 1. Okay, that's good. That means there is one missing value in question text and one missing value in target. That's good. Please remember, Vaishali, when we did sampling of a data, now, out of 5 lakh questions, sample will randomly pick 1 lakh questions. Those 1 lakh questions which it picked in my case had no missing values. But that 1 lakh sample which it picked in your case had one such question which has no question text or no target. Therefore, you're seeing 1. So that's good news, in fact, that you have a reason now. But I have, in general sense, also I have kept this code because generically I will always do this. I will print the shape of my data, that is the original shape of my data. I will then do a drop NA, where a drop NA means drop the not available values. So I'll drop all those rows. I'll drop all those rows which have even one value as NA. So I will drop the row if it has a question text as NA or it has a target as NA. Interesting. So in that particular case, I can notice in my case, before dropping and after dropping, there has been no change. The number of records same as 1 lakh, which means that I have all my data in place. But in case of Vaishali, who is saying that my question text is having one null value and target having one null value, in her case, the count should reduce by 1 or by 2. Correct. Means Vaishali, in one single question itself, there was no question text and target. So only one question had a missing question text and target. This is what it means. Therefore, this value reduced to by 1 in your case. Very good. Now, I'm trying to find the number of words in the text for the training data set as well as for the testing data set. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this to basically check that what Quora has supplied me, is it, are both the data sets, the test data and the trained data set, having a similar distribution? I'm not saying they're normally distributed. I'm not saying they're having or following a Bernoulli distribution or a Poisson distribution or a normal distribution. I'm not saying all that stuff. I'm saying that are they similarly distributed or not? That means are they having similar distributions? So how can we find that? We can very easily. And I'm sure you could ask this question to me also. That Rocky ji, you never did that in FDP1 or FDP2. You have been solving such problems right from FDP1 from last 2 months. I didn't do that because the data which was used for testing was derived from a primary data set. What we were doing till now, my friends, was that we had a data set, however big, however small. Data set was at 1 lakh records or 2 lakh records or 20,000 records, immaterial. From the data set itself, we were taking about 80% of this data set itself for training and another 20% for testing. We were taking 80%, I repeat my words, for training, the rest 20% for testing. So you derived your training and testing dataset from the same dataset, no? So if this dataset is whatever probability distribution this dataset is following, whatever probability distribution function this dataset is following, whether it is Bernoulli, whether it is multinomial, whether it is normal, whether it is Poisson, that is any which is going to be applicable for both, no? Because you're deriving the dataset from the same original dataset. But here that is not the case. Here the Quora as a client for the competition which they are taking of worth $25,000, what they are doing is they have given to you a data separately for the training purpose and separately for testing your model. So now it becomes your responsibility to check that are they having similar characteristics or not, similar distributions or not. So how to find it? For that you haven't to use probability distribution function. That's not a good idea because that's never going to give you happy answers. Get into statistics and you try to use a stats model library of Python and to try to check that are they having similar distributions. You will never feel happy. The answer will be no, they are not having. So don't go too much into the stats model. Doesn't help. Look at it in a more machine learning way. Look at it in a more Pythonic way. Rather than looking at the statisticians, don't look at from the eyes of a statistician. You're not working as a statistician here on this problem. Statisticians don't code. They work on paper and pen and they keep doing work on maths. No. You're not working on this problem as a statistician. You're working on this problem as an engineer, right? As a data scientist, right? So think from that point. Okay. So I made a lambda expression to count the number of words which is there in the question text. So I got some total number of words for every question. So for every question, I'm adding how many number of words that question is having. So some question may have 20 words, some question will be very long, may have for 50 words, 60 words. Similarly, I found how many number of words each question is having in the test. Then I found the mean of it. So once I get the mean, I look at their values and I'm happy to see that the mean number of words among 1 lakh questions in the trained data set is 12.79, and for the mean number of words in the test is 12.90. That gives me a gut feeling, a common sense feeling that similar natured questions are there in trained as well as test data set. Still, analysis is not yet over. More EDA has to be done to confirm that the data is of similar nature or not. Okay. First question: is this code number of words in the text? Any part missing? Please tell me. Vandana confirms. Thank you, Vandana. The code is there. Now, I know, friends, that you were not able to run this code because data uploading is happening. Don't worry, it will happen. And before we all go in for our virtual tea break, virtual tea, why? Because tea will be supplied by Rathore sir to us, and he's going to give a virtual tea, going to give a variety of teas to us virtually, so right from green tea to black tea. Right. So, and that time, I hope this data uploading will happen by say 11:30, 11:45. It would have got completed. Yeah. So, Rathore sir, you're planning to give us tea, virtual tea today?
Yeah. Energy you have to extract out of it. Apply for MLAI and deep
Sure.
learning.
We will do that, sir. We will do that. Right.
That is the only thing we are missing, sir, in FDP's STDPs. Together having a tea or lunch. Yes.
Absolutely, sir. Right. So, friends, now I'm looking at the number of unique words, and on this analysis, I was not so happy because the questions which were asked in the training data set of Cora have some questions. So, I'm finding the maximum of the number of unique words is 96, and the maximum number of unique words asked in any question in the test data set is 44. You can imagine how big the question would be. With 96 unique words in a question, please imagine how big the question would be. The question looks like it means the question would be like an essay. Okay. So this is something is not so really important, but then this I have to keep in mind that the number of unique questions in both are not the same. But yes, instead of a max, if you were to take a mean, instead of max, if you were planning to take a mean and then do it, and if mean gives you a closer answer, then I'm still okay. So the number of unique words, unique means non-repetitive words. In the above case, we were allowing repetition of words. For example, the word the may come 3 times in a question, but here the word the can come only once in the question. And for that, the lambda code is self-explanatory. Okay, that I have converted. What I have done is I have converted my question text into a string. I have performed a split over it to make it into words. Then I have done a set. So I've converted my list of words into a set of words. And everybody knows from basics of Python that set of words are always going to be unique. You cannot never have duplicates or never can have repetitions. Further, because the set is unique, it is very natural that you will get unique number of words which I'm dumping in this place. Okay? Same thing we applied over the test data set also. So at least this is satisfied. I repeated the same step for finding number of stop words in the text. Now, how do you find stop words? This I will explain in detail. Yeah. So Vandana has a query for me. Can you show the code once again? Mean wala. Okay. Mean. Okay. Yes. So what I can see is instead of getting the number of unique words max value, what I've changed is I've changed the word max to mean. That's it. Previous one, the one prior to this. Okay. Number of words in the text. I have kept the min part as commented. I don't need the min part. I have taken the mean. So, is there some code missing in your case, Vandana, or is like you didn't understand this piece of coding? Okay, right. So in your case, you have max instead of mean, so you have to please change it to mean. Yes. Because I keep taking this workshop, so I keep changing. So I do not know what are the last state I left it at. Yeah, so please change it to mean. That's right. Instead of max, make it to mean. Okay, Vismita has a query here to explain numbers. Okay, so Vismita, see, um, wait, hold on for a minute. Okay, so look at this question now. What does EPC mean in a car? How many words this question is having? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, the seventh word itself is holding the word car and question mark both because question mark is having no space, so it gets connected as single word. 7 words is the number of words for the first question is 7. So I will be holding 7 beside. So I'm adding a new column to my data frame and holding as num words. So for the first question, I'll get 7. Maybe for the second question, I get 12 or 15, so on and so forth. So what we're doing is for every question, we're finding a number of words. Like this, we are having 1 lakh questions in the train data set. So what I've done is I have found the mean. I've commented the max. I don't want the min or the max at all. What I need only to whether both are having similar distributions or not. So I'm taking the mean. So in my set frame, because a new column called num words has been added, taking the average of all that 1 lakh num words. So for every question I've got, let's say one question got 7 words, others got 10 words, others got 20 words. I'm taking an average of 7, 10, 20, and I got this. Similarly, I'm taking an average of num words for the test data, which I got 12.90, which tells me that, okay, good. So the mean number of words in both my data sets is at least almost similar. If this was 12.7 and this was 13 is okay. 12.79 and 25 is not okay. Train data set says my average number of words per question is 12. And this train test data set says 25. It's not okay. That means at an average, very large questions are given me in test data set, and small framed questions with less number of words are being given to me in train data set. Usually what happens is when questions are very long, Vasmita, it means they are very descriptive in nature. You're trying to explain the question to a very great extent in the question itself. And when the questions are very short, that means they are not more descriptive, they are more objective. So you're pinpointing the question. So if your ML model gets trained on objective based questions, it won't be able to answer descriptive based questions, is what I'm trying to check here. Okay, now, so similarly we took a mean with respect to unique words. We also took a mean with respect to the stop words, but let me come into the stop words. Stop words I'm finding max, not mean. I'm finding max. I'll tell you the reason for max also. Okay, now please tell me, Vasmita, tell me, is the code for stop words present or missing? Okay, thank you. So I got an acknowledgement that the code for um, the stop words is there. Let me explain you the code now. With patience, let's understand the code. So Vandana, congratulations. You've uploaded a data set. Huh? Congratulations. Very good. Big achievement. Now, what we're doing, friends, is stop words dot words. We are loading all the stop words of the English language. Unfortunately, you wonder, okay, from where the stop words came? Okay, in the above import libraries, I have already imported stop words from NLTK. NLTK full form is Natural Language Tool Kit. So Natural Language Toolkit is a super huge library used for NLP. It's like Godfather for NLP people. We really cannot do anything without this library. Dot Corpus has lots of mini libraries in it. One of them is stop words. Again, the stop words are available for more than 20 different languages, more than 20 different foreign languages. And by the time I'm talking to you, or we are doing this workshop, and after 1 month, when you actually go to Corpus, you'll see 25 languages. After 6 months, you'll see 35 languages. So it is adding up at a super speed. So, but NLP has a huge scope in India. I always keep telling for the last 3 years I've been working on, my forte is NLP applications and not OpenCV under the category of machine learning and deep learning and neural networks. Why? Because I personally believe with all my industry connects whom I spoke with, and a lot of my industry connects are more to friends to me now, because we have got that kind of emotional bonding also. That So when I ask them that, what should I self learn more so that I can get good trainings, they say Rocky NLP. So, and I'm talking about very senior people in the industry, very senior people. So like 5,000, 10,000 people report to them in offices. So I'm talking with those people at times when I get an opportunity. And of course, they will not talk much, but they will talk to the point. I've just asked them what to ask them, because I know the person is very senior. So I know what I have to ask him or her. So if I have to ask the right question at the right time, then I just asked, if you were to do NLP or OpenCV yourself, which would you prefer to do? I'll not ask them why. Don't waste the time of a super busy person asking him why. Ask him. He's told NLP. Now you investigate and research why NLP. Now when I researched it, you'll be surprised to know this, that India is the only country in the world which has the highest number of spoken languages and least number of regional language applications or apps. No, sir, I know there are so many apps. See, there is an app for reading newspaper in Tamil, in Telugu, in Marathi, but are they really helping people? Reading news in different articles is a reader app. No, they're just translating from English to other languages. They're just showing the other papers. Newspaper of Telugu has been coming from last 30 or 40 years. Newspaper of Marathi has been coming from last 50 years. So you're just showcasing me your static output of here. I'm talking of real-time useful applications. Where are they? I don't have a video conferencing tool like Zoom. I don't have a Gmail tool in Hindi, in Telugu, in Tamil, in Marathi. I don't have it. I don't have it in Bengali also, which is the third most spoken language in India. After English, Hindi, Bengali is the third most popular language. So think about this. So out of 29 active languages spoken in India, with a population of more than 2 CR. 2 CR is a big number. More than 2 crore people speaking more than 29 languages. You can understand the potential your application should have. And these are those people who prefer to speak in the regional languages. They may know English, they may know Hindi, but they will prefer to speak in their regional language. If they get that particular application in the regional languages, they'll be happy. Example, application like Alexa, an application like the Google Assistant, which is on your phone also. So a Google Echo, a Google Assistant, all these are working super hard. Amazon is working super hard. India is working super hard to actually ensure that they are able to tap in the regional languages. Foreign languages library is available. You have library for French, for Spanish, for Japanese, for Chinese, for Hindi as well. For English, you have libraries. What I'm talking is you don't have libraries for regional languages. So NLP definitely holds a good scope because all these big companies are looking India not for making money, but they're looking India as a source of data. Please remember, data is money. So they're looking at source of data. These companies have a 50 or 60-year vision. For Amazon, spend a few $billion on improvising Alexa so that comes in 29 regional languages. Okay, all regional languages. Everybody starts using Alexa for doing something or the other work. For him, it is not a big deal that he spent $5 billion to make the system. It's peanuts for them because they know that the data which they're going to collect over the next 10 years, the way Google is doing now, is going to be worth for hundreds of billions because they will know what is the shopping history, what is the income, what is the buying pattern, what is the behavioral pattern for different people. When do they watch movies? When do they buy products? When do they do cash transfer? When at what time of the day do they chat? They know everything about you. What time of the day they don't listen to music? Because see, understand that Alexa is an ego becomes popular after 2 years to such an extent that instead of you typing, you speak. Understand, you have given all your information to Amazon database or to the Google database. That's what their idea is. They're thinking far beyond what TCS or Accenture or Reliance can think. Reliance will think, I will open JioMart and sell dal chini chawal to you. TCS will think we will make two more softwares for SBI Bank and the customs. We will make 20 crore, 30 crores. These guys think different. They don't have, their mindset is 100 times about the companies which are in India. They think that if I get the data, I know what and how the behavioral patterns is going to be, and that's called genetics. It's called genome. So how you have a genetics for a DNA, you will have a genetics for the people of their behaviors. That helps to come to know how people spend their day in different parts of India. And that data set is huge for me to release medicines, to release festivals, to release events, and to release products. So you control them. Please understand. Your mindset has got trapped. Once your mindset is trapped, your mindset can be controlled. Right? So that's what their plans is, which nobody will disclose to you. But this is what their straightforward plan, and they're already working on it from last 5 years. That's the reason you see Alexa and Echo coming out as devices. Now, having said this, okay, as Boomer Devi says, then there is no escape. Yes, there is no escape. AI, you cannot escape AI. Remember, Boomer Devi. AI is, you have got trapped into that tangle. So now more people have to get trapped in it, nothing more. More people have to get trapped in it, and as slowly and gradually things will happen. Okay, we just to add some additional information. There is a company whom we are recruiting for from the last 2 years. It's called as Miko. Miko is a company which also sponsored, rather co-sponsored the Kapil Sharma show before the COVID. They sponsored it for 3 months actually. So what is Miko? Miko is actually a device which also comes in Tata Salt's ad. If you see the Tata Salt ad, there is a small girl who says, "Barish kyun padti hai? Dinosaur kahan gaye?" And then the ad comes that the Tata Salt iodine ke wajah se the child is so inquisitive. So anyway, cutting all that scrap out, the device, I believe more than the child, the device is doing the better work because the device there is of Miko actually. And Miko for this company, we are placing people, and we are proud to say that we placed one of the electronics or telecom students from S.P.I.T itself, who had got a job offer, of course, from S.P.I.T on campus, but he wanted to go into AI. So, he approached us and we placed him off through our consultant into Miko. Okay, and when we placed him there, he's so happy, he's working there, he's so happy because he's able to work on the AI NLP. He's working on AI NLP now. Whether he's working there because he also got a good admit from the US universities. So we don't know, but then he's worked there for about a couple of months, and many people are working on this. So what Miko is doing is they are the next big threat to Vedantu and Byju's. You know what they have done? They have made a small robot, which is costing you maybe 3 or 5,000 rupees, and it's like a Alexa or an Echo, and you bring this product home, Okay, you bring this product home, and a child can go on asking English or general knowledge questions to it. Anything related to the inquisitiveness of a mind of a child, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Usually, the child's mind is very inquisitive from 3 to 8 years, 9 years. Usually, they just keep asking questions, everything they want to ask. So, what these guys have done is they have kept practically an answer to every question, but presently it is only in English. They're working it on regional languages so that they can tap into India's crowd. Back way. Okay, so general knowledge really improves by, so you talk to this device and this device gives you an answer. Now, Aarti knows so much. My goodness. Okay, right. But Aarti, they are teaching you maths and science. No, this Miko not teaching you anything. This Miko is only general knowledge and English as of right now. Okay. Now let's see this. English top words are available in this library. I have brought them here. Look at the lambda carefully. See what we have done. First thing is, every sentence or every question taken, I made it into a string, converted the whole thing into lowercase, split it into the words. Now, once things are split into the words, I brought the word one by the for loop here. Now, I will keep this word in the list if the if condition goes true. That means if the word is in the English top words list, then I will keep it. But if the word is not in the English top words list, I will drop it. Same lambda I have applied for my test data set. Please notice. So I'll get the number of stop words in train. I'll get the number of stop words in test. I'm finding the max, yes, so that I come to know that are the questions asked having too many stop words, because those many stop words are going to get dropped, no? So I'm finding the max of it, and I got an answer as 36 max words in the train data set and 30 in the test. We're quite close to each other, quite close. That this tolerance is okay. But in case if I got maximum number of stop words as 70 in the train and 30 in test, then I'll have to think, yeah, it will think, in that situation, of course, I will probably go back to my train data set and take some part of my train data set only for testing purpose. That way. Okay, so can anybody please acknowledge me? Is this code for finding number of stop words there or not there? Yes, resource stop words not be found, Vandana. You'll have to do this. From nltk.corpus import stop words. Vandana, I have commented that line, no? So you have to uncomment and run it. Okay. So Indrajit, Sonal, Vismita, Nikit Madam, and Vandana all have said that they have done good. Very nice. Okay, so till this point, for how many people it is done, please punch me. Stop words done. Stop words done. I'm expecting more answers. What happened? Stop words done. इतना answers कम क्यों आ रहा है? Look error. Yeah. You have to use NLTK downloader. That's right. See, friends, when you're getting lookup error means that your stop words is library not imported. So from nltk.corpus, import stop words. Please notice from nltk.corpus import stop word. This may not be imported in Colab automatically. It will ask you to use nltk.downloader stop words. After uncommenting also, obviously, Vandana, see, uncommenting would only help you to import the stop words from nltk.corpus, but nltk.corpus is only is not there, no? In Colab is not there. So in that situation, you have to use nltk.downloader. See, there is a Nikit ma'am has, I think, given Python minus hyphen n. No, Mule ma'am, I think what you're giving is useful for downloading it only on the command prompt. That is on the desktop. So don't do it for desktop. Tell the solution for Colab. Yes, and I think Colab solution Indrajit is given correctly, because this any which ways come. When you get an error no in Colab, it will tell you in Colab nltk dot download. Oh, I don't know why it scrolls when I copy. So it will automatically tell you nltk dot download stop words. Please look what Indrajit is kept. Please run this in a separate cell in Colab and then run this cell. If you want, I can put it here. Okay. So nltk dot download, and so Manu got the error. Who got the error, by the way? Vandana got the error. So Vandana, you're looking on my screen. I hope so. Stop words. Try to add this on a separate cell and then run this. And before this, if this doesn't work, then you may have to say import LTK. Run this cell. Right. Now, so I hope for majority, NLTK dot download stop words happened, and you also were able to find the number of stop words. Remember, you're still doing ADA. You're still doing ADA. Okay. Please let me skip certain part of finding the punctuations. Okay. Input. Sorry, not import. I'm finding the number of punctuations in every question, and I'm reporting the max value of the punctuations along the question text. So I wish to know from all of you, is this code for number of punctuations given or not given? Okay, it is given. Great. Just run that code and don't worry of whatever answer you get. Please don't worry of whatever answer you get. I got the answer number of punctuations in my training dataset is 96 and maximum number of punctuations in testing dataset is 59. Why I'm not worried about it, I'll tell you. Because when we will do cleaning of the text data, we will any which ways drop the punctuations. So whether it is 96 or 97, it doesn't make a difference to me. And whether it is 59 or 30, it doesn't make a difference to me. So you will say, then why did you find it? Okay, I found it out because I want to tell you that out of the words, punctuations have not much meaning. We are never going to clean it. So even if this differs, please don't get worried. And don't use this as a parameter for comparing the distribution of the training dataset with the testing dataset. Don't use this as a parameter for comparison of their distributions. Right. So I'm happy that both the distributions were very similar because we saw the mean number of words, stop words, almost equivalent. So we are happy with that. Okay. Now, next one. let's figure out how many unique target values we have. Naturally, we have only two target values, 0 and 1. But then let's check, no. What if some question having 2 as target value? How do we know beforehand? पहले कैसे मालूम पड़ेगा हमको? We have to check it. So when I checked it, I got it as, I'm happy, only 0, 1 as my unique values, which means that there are only two varieties of question, either a 0 or a 1. If the question is 0, that means non-toxic, good question. Question is 1, that means toxic, that is 1. Any code missing? Please tell me. Any code missing? Please tell me. Okay, that's fantastic. So we already have the code. Let's move on. Yes, the Cora problem is definitely binary classification problem. Why? Because your target as having only two values, 0 and 1. But somebody asked me while I was explaining in some other forum that Rocky ji, we too identified above only that the Cora people had said in the business problem that they want to identify questions which are sincere and insincere. But we cannot go on their word, no? The business problem is saying that they want to check whether questions are sincere or insincere. Agree. I don't deny it. But isn't it your and my responsibility to check that what data set they have given also have questions of variety sincere and insincere? What if the question has a variety 2? And let's say there are 100 questions out of 1 lakh, there are 100 questions which are a variety 2, which variety 2 means can't say whether it's toxic or isn't toxic. I can't say. Humans couldn't acknowledge it as toxic or intoxic. They were like in a debating mood on it. So in that situation, the only option that is left with us is to drop those questions. But here the situation is nothing to do drop, because all the questions are either classified as 0, sincere, or 1, insincere. Okay. So Cora problem is definitely a pure binary classification problem. Correct. Data is absolutely clean. Yes, that to be identified at the start only. But is it balanced? What is this? Let's be very honest. In most of the data science problems of related to classification, you will come across this problem. Apart from data being clean or unclean, data would also be unbalanced. That is a very serious problem. Let's have a look. So is the data balanced? I mean, do we have equal number of sincere and insincere questions in the data set? I don't know. Let's find out. So I have this one-line code which I have written here. What am I doing is, from the train data frame, I am using where method. In the where function, you can give any condition. My condition is that from the train data set or from the train data frame, I wish to pick up only those records whose target variable is equal to 1. And if the target variable is equal to 1, then only that means I'm finding those questions whose target is 1. That means I'm finding those questions which are toxic. And I'm taking a count of it. So for every column in data frame, I'm getting a count. The count of question IDs of toxic question 6167. That's it. You haven't to look at the rest. Or you can just look at the question text 6167. That means there are 6167 toxic questions in my train data set. Everybody will get a different number. Huh? Everybody will get a different number. Because remember, we have done random sampling of 1 lakh records above. So we all will get different answer, but around the same. We'll get different answer, but around the same. So 6167 is what we have got. This means out of 1 lakh records, dash are unsincere. So 6,167 in my case. That's approximately about 6.16% is unsincere. Still, we can put our figures exactly here to get the percentage. Just do manual editing please. Do a manual edit. 6167. So I'm printing the percentage in my case. Print percentage of unsincere questions. Please manually edit this figure to your case. Example deta. Suppose Vandana posted 6120. So she will put over here 6120. Indrajit posted 6211. Indrajit will put the numerator as 6211. Okay? Yep. Yep. So please do it. And once you have got your percentage of unsincere questions, tell me a yes. Instead of telling me yes, punch in your answer. Don't tell me yes. Punch in your answer. Your answer is yes for me. Okay. So quite a few people have got around the same answer as I've got, around approximately 6%. This means we can conclude that we have approximately 94% of sincere questions. That's right. Now, friends, see now what happens here is that when you say that we have 94% of sincere questions, that very clearly indicates to us that the data set is imbalanced. Because the distribution, have a look. No. One, there are two classes of questions here. One is a major class, which is having 94% questions. One is a minor class, having 6% questions. Where is 94? Where is 6? You can say that is okay, no? That's okay. That's the way we say this is a major class. That's the reason we say technically this is a major class and this is a minor class. Absolutely. You're very correct in saying that. That is the reason that we say something is a major and something is a minor. Correct. Very correct. But now look at the problem in a more holistic sense. Suppose you train a ML model on this data. Because the ML model, while learning, came across most of the major class data. That means most of the questions which were sincere, and a very small number of questions which were unsincere. That means toxic. He came across. He got very less chance to learn them. He got more chance to learn the sincere questions because the data was that way. Now, what is going to happen is when you use this ML model on real unseen data or on test data, on real unseen data or on test data, and if this test data, you know very well this test data is toxic. You know very well this test data is toxic. Even if this toxic question, suppose is misclassified as non-toxic, that means is misclassified to be as a part of the major class. Still, we cannot say that the accuracy of this model is bad. Why? Because even if all this 6% data is misclassified, even if all this 6% data is misclassified as a major class data, still your ML model is going to have an accuracy of 94%. And again, explain this more simpler terms. Suppose if I give this ML model 100 records, you know very well that out of these 100 records, 94 records you have purposefully, you have taken care, you have given is non-toxic. That means target 0. 6 questions only you have given to this for testing, which you know very well are toxic. 1. Assume an ML model is performing worst and he was not able to judge even one of the questions as toxic. So he judged everything as non-toxic. So what will you say? That out of 100 questions which I have given for testing, it could correctly predict 94. You will say, huh. So what is it? 94%, no, of accuracy. Ah, my God. So a model which is very performing in its worst phase of life, you're saying he's working with 94% accuracy. He was not able to identify even one of the toxic questions. Still, you have to give him a rating because you are working on mathematical data. And data says 94% accuracy. Hey, how can you deny? Correct. This is a problem, isn't it? This is a problem if you train an ML model on unbalanced data set. A highly unbalanced data set will result in this kind of a model, which which will look efficient, which will look accurate, but it is not accurate. So, what should we do? Now, what should we do? We will talk about later. But let us first work with what we have. So we have imbalanced data. There are two ways to solve this problem where we can rebalancing. One is you oversample the minority class. You oversample the minority class. Or easier option, which you and I will try also, is you undersample the majority class. Say you are having 6,100 records approximately of the minor class now, and you are having 94,000 records of a major class now. So out of the 94,000 records of major class, can you please take only 6,100 records of the major class? Yes, sir, I can. Khatam. You got the answer. 6,100 of this, 6,100 of this. That means you get a new data set of approximately 12,200 records, in which 50% are of the major class, 50% are of the minor class. Little imbalancing is okay. You can give the major class little major. That instead of taking 6,000 records, you will take 7,000. You will take 8,000. That's okay. In fact, that is also good also, because you're making the ML model understand that this is the major class, the blue one, because he is greater than the red, that is a minor class. Quick plotting to tell us the data is really imbalanced. In case of this visualizing imbalancing of data code is not there, please tell me quickly on the chat. I'll punch it. Friends, code there or not there? It's there. Okay, great. So is data set imbalance? Of course, मतलब दूर से देखकर आप बोल सकते हो data set is imbalanced. दूर से देखकर भी. Okay, one type of questions is so much and one type of question is so much. So friends, you have been hearing me from continuously from last 1 hour. I think you should have this piece of time to have a cup of tea or get freshed up. Let's take 11:50 to 12 o'clock sharp as a freshening up break. At sharp 12 we meet back to continue further.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you.
सर चाय भेजा ले लीजिए.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
आपके चॉइस के हिसाब से ले लीजिए क्या चाहिए.
ऑनलाइन टी
पक्का पक्का पक्का.
Online tea.
So, friends, I hope we are all back to our terminals. If you are, please put me a yes. Great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very good.
Rocky sir, I have one doubt.
Yeah, please tell me.
When I run that code train.where for determining the unsincere question,
Mhm.
so here I'm not getting that number. That this means out of that blank space records, blank space are unsincere. Not getting any number there.
I didn't get you. Are you talking about this part, percentage of unsincere questions?
Yes, yes.
But then you'll have to fill, no? You have to fill your figure here. What figure you got above? What figure did you get above?
6232.
Hmm. So did you write 6232 here?
Oh no, I don't. And yeah, yeah. Okay, I need to write
No?
that.
You have to fill in this blank. No?
Sir, I have a doubt.
Sure. Please go ahead.
Sir, I uploaded the data set, and after that,
Mhm.
the Colab book is unable to connect to the runtime. So I just
That
need
is
to
that
refresh
is
it, or any other way is there?
yeah. No. You have to refresh it. That is break of net connection. If your net
Okay.
connection goes break in between for a
Hmm.
few seconds, then Colab loses connection with the Google Compute Engine.
Okay, so everything has to be redone again, right? No other shortcut.
Unfortunately, yes. Yes, yes.
Okay, sir.
Unfortunately, yes. Hmm.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I've got so many yeses which mention that they are all back to the terminals. Friends, now I'm going to have the next 1 hour, 15 minutes really brainstorming. Trust me. Okay, so now we know we have imbalanced or unbalanced data in our hands. Huh? This is a fact which we know. Data is unbalanced. That is what we have at our hand. We know that. 94% of the major class, 6% of the minor class. You say, we can do undersampling. No. We're not going to do anything right now. No undersampling, no oversampling. Patience. First, we will apply our ML model over the original data set in the form and format it is. Then we will undersample. And again, we will apply the same ML model over a balanced data set, which has been balanced due to undersampling or via undersampling. And feel it ourselves. Is there an improvement in accuracy of classification? And that will teach us that yes, if any ML model is made to work, made to learn, made to predict on imbalanced data, its performance is not going to be as good as if it is working on a balanced data set. Okay? Please check your audios, friends. Please check your audio. Somebody's audio is on. When you turn on your audio to speak, make sure you turn it off also after you speak. Everyone. Okay. Right. So let's come into this point called data preprocessing. What we were doing till now was only EDA. Now we'll process our data. Why we have to process our data? It's a very known fact to all of us, but let me read this. Remember, our only feature which we have is the question text. And by rule, no ML algo, whichever algo used for classification, decision tree classifier, KNN, name based classification, whatever classification algo you use, whatever ML algo you use, no ML algo can take, no ML algo can take text or string as input. ML algos are only understanding numeric data. Therefore, we will have to convert our question text into numeric vectors. And this process by which we convert our question text into numeric vectors is called vectorization. But to do that, we'll have to clean the text, tokenize the text, break it into small words, find the lemma of the words, some extra work also has to be done. Only then finally we can convert our question text into a vectors or a bunch of numbers, which our ML model can understand. This step is mandatory if you're dealing with text data. So what steps I'm going to do now is mandatory for any NLP case study. I have done a similar kind of data pre-processing in FDP2 also, but that is a little lighter. This is a little heavier. First step, tokenization. That means breaking questions into individual words. Every question will be broken into individual words. Next step is lemmatization. Lemmatization means you forget stemming. Lemmatization means you're finding the base form of every particular word. Imagine there is a word called studies. This is actually in the plural form. Studying is in the verb form. I don't want the plural form, the verb form. No. Just give me the base form of the word, please. The base form of the word studies and studying is study only. No? So if you look at dictionary, if you open an Oxford dictionary, you will not find the meaning of the word studies. You won't find the meaning of the word studying. You will find the meaning of the word study. That means how look. So imagine how a dictionary is organized from A to Z. All the words have their base words and their meaning. So for every word you can have a noun form. For some words you can have adjectives. For words you can have pronouns. So those words keep changing, no, in their style. So words like study, sport. So studying is a verb form. If it is sport, sporting is a verb form. If it's fish, fishing is a verb form. Race, racing is a verb form. So you could have verb forms or plural or pronoun of a lot of words, but those are impure forms of the pure word. So what lemmatization does is it finds the pure form of the word. And I'm sure you will say difference between stem. Please leave this difference between stemma and lemma right now. Out of these two, lemma is preferred. It is better. Hence, we will use lemma. I have given the difference, by the way, in this paragraph here for yourself later on reading. Further, what? Will you just break every question into words? Will you break every question into words and straight away come to lemmatizing it? No, not at all. No. What we will do is we would tokenize the words, drop the stop words, drop the non-alpha numeric text, that means special characters, hyphens, question marks, all. Now what good text to left, take a lemma of it and then convert the lemma of those words into numeric vectors. So advantage we get is you'll get the same lemma for studies and for studying. For you'll get the same numeric vector. Please notice studies lemma is studying, lemma is also study. That means numeric vector for both will be same. No? So if I ask you how many times the word study comes in my document, you can say 2 times, but actually study is not coming even once. It is studies and studying which is coming, one each. But I am trying to, but if I go on this, I will get an accurate picture of the document. To get an accurate picture of the document, I should take the lemma of the word and count that to come to know what is the frequency of the lemma of the word to give an idea about the document or about the question in this case. So first step 1, change all text to the lowercase. I won't ask you whether this data is there or not there. I'll punch the query. I'll punch the 2-line code on the group. I'm explaining the code with patience. Take 30 seconds, 1 minute, listen. Then pick up the code from the chat and run it. What we're doing is, look at the expression. Let me go right to left. I'm picking up from a trained data set every question text, bringing it into the variable entry, and I'm doing a lowercase of the entry. I'm making a list of it. So I'm making a list of all lowercase question text, and that entire thing is eventually dumped into back in the question text. That means the question text original has got replaced with all lowercase question text. Ditto same thing. Not same, ditto same. I've done for test also. Okay? Moment you finish with lower casing, say over, done. Cool. Now, moving on, step is just importing some libraries which I would eventually be using in my later on code. So please just import all the libraries as it is. Next, because I have converted all my words into lowercase, my next step is to tokenize. That means I will go to every question and I will break the entire question into set of words. Let's have a look how we're doing it. I'm picking up every question from my trained data frame and bringing it into table entry. Friends, in the analytical office, there is a predefined function called word underscore tokenize, which will break the entire question into set of words, into a list of words. And I'm dumping that back into the question text. So the entire question text is gone. Now the question text has got replaced by a list of words. I thought I should do the same thing for test also. Obviously, it is needed there. And then I thought that I should do a train.head to just see the first 5 records of my training data set. Then I won't ask you this is there or not there. I'll punch this code as it is. Even if it's there, it's okay. Punching it. Now, when I've done train.head, it is still running in my case, as you could see. My kernel is busy. Let me get an output first. So the moment I get an output, I'll tell you that how the question text, which was a single sentence, got divided into a list of words. And for those people for whom this is done, they should say token done. Token done. Good. My cell is still running. It usually takes about a minute. Ms. Smita and Dr. Pushpa, Vandana has given the answer to your query. You have to do analytical download punct. In fact, when you get the value error, you will also be getting a solution on Colab. You should download the punct library, PUNKT. So please do that. That is going to fix your error. Okay. So many people are saying token done, token done. That's very good. But for me, the cell is still running. I don't know why it's taking so much of time. Okay. So I would move further in my explanation. Okay. Let it take its time, not a problem. Okay. Now what I'm doing is I am setting up a random seed value so that whatever splitting or sampling which I do later on, I don't have different sample distributions created. So for all of us, we'll have similar sample distributions created because I'm fixing up the random state as 500 as my seed value. After this step is optional, but I'm doing it so that all of us are on the same page, so that we are on the same answer. Now, something has gone wrong with my code. Somewhere something has gone wrong because it can't take so much of time to import to run this. But I'll not disturb it. I'm running on 1 lakh records. It shouldn't have taken so much of time. Okay, chalo. If I stop this, then I have to might as well again run it. Let me try stopping this. Wait. I stopped it and therefore the output came up. Okay. Let me verify that. Is it a coincidence that I stopped at the right time? Wait. Why? Why is shape not coming? White error. Wait. After my cell that has created a problem. Wait. Correct. Record. Wait for a minute. Dr. Pushpa, if we're getting a name error, word underscore tokenize is not defined, that means you have to import it. That's the only problem. So you just write an import code.
I have already imported, sir, that ml import nltk dot download punct, and it got true also. When I run it, it was been displaying that it's true.
Okay. Yeah, so but you're saying you're putting the error, no? You're putting the error on the
No, first I have imported this and then I have run that code. Then it was giving me true in import nltk dot, and in this afterwards in tokenization it was getting this error.
But this has nothing to do with respect to that, no? You're mixing the two things which are not related at all. NLTK.download has no relation with word tokenize. Word tokenize is
Yeah,
a method
that's
which
what.
is
No, yeah,
separately
that's what.
imported. So you have to separately import it. Check your import statements. Is word tokenized there or not? Check your import set of statements carefully once.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's there. From NLTK tokenize import word underscore tokenize is there. So maybe, okay, I'll just run it again. I got it. Okay.
Run the select.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So, friends, as you could see that I got an error, and because I stopped my kernel in between, so I lost my data. So I have again loaded my data and I had to move it because this guy is taking infinite time. This is still now going little, taking a little longer than it should have taken. Okay, but anyway, now if I stop, I have to again load my data once again. So I cannot stop it now again. Let it take whatever time it takes. So let me explain the code. What is next? Okay, so I've made a random seed so that any sampling or any distribution that we do will be same for all of us. Yeah, so my output has come now. Now it has come in a decent time. It took 1 minute, it's okay. But last time it took 2-3 minutes, it didn't come. Okay, now look at this. See, my first question was on websites that I can see logged in. Of course, the rest of the question has got truncated. It's okay. But my point to you is, please notice that your entire question first has come into lowercase. Second, your entire question text has got divided into a list of words, as you could see, into a list of words. Now, till now we have done two things. No, we have done three things. We have dropped the stop words. We have converted the whole question text into lowercase. Plus, we have tokenized it also. No, we didn't drop the stop words. Wait, just a second. Just a second. No, we haven't dropped the stop words till now. We have only converted to lowercase first. Second, we have tokenized. Two things we have done. Yes. Now we will do dropping of the stop words. Now, little more also we have to do now. I'm doing two things together. See, steps 3, 4, 5, all the three things I'm going to do together only. How and what I'm doing. Friends, in this code, I'm removing the stop words with the code is going to come below. Plus, I am finding the lemma, lemmatization or lamenting or finding the lemma of every word. And after finding the lemma of every word, then I would go to convert my data into the numeric data. Here I'm doing two things. First, I want to drop the stop words. And second, for the non-stop words, I want to find a lemma. Okay. Let me see. Yes. So, how we're doing it. Now, this code may look little complex to you, but actually it's a very standard way and it's quite straightforward. Tell you what I've done. Let's understand it logically. I'm creating a dictionary. Default dictionary is a ready-made class in Python, which allows you to create a ready-made dictionary in which if anybody is giving you a key which is not present in the dictionary will always return this value for an undefined key. When you create a default dictionary, the advantage which you get is if anybody is asking this dictionary tag underscore map any value or any key, when I'm asking the tag map, give me the value for key tiger, give me the value for the key apple, give me the value for the key Lenovo. If your tag map says मेरे पास ऐसा कोई key नहीं है, I don't have keys like Apple or Lenovo or Tiger. I don't have them. So tag map will return to you. It will not produce any error. It will return to you noun. What is this noun? I'll come to it. Patience. In the tag map, I have defined some keys. If the key is J, I have defined adjective. If the key is V, I have defined as verb. And if the key is R, I have defined as adverb. Now, I'm sure you're feeling doubting on what is all this. Have patience. It will be clear as the things progress in the next 5-7 minutes. So be on this with me. Hal filal, you just have made a simple dictionary which contains these 4 values called noun, adjective, verb, and adverb. Okay? Now, what you're doing is from here. You're going to a data frame called train, picking up every question text. Because I'm using the enumerate function, please recall FDP1, FDP2. We use enumerate function number of times. So what enumerate does is, it will pick the question text as well as the index entry at which this question comes. So if it becomes a 0th question, it will return to you, it will put here 0 and the question text of the 0th question. All of us know that every question text is consisting of a list of words which have come in the variable entry. And the index position 0 has come here for the very first question. So 0 and the list of words of the first question in entry. Now, because my intention is to drop the stop words, so obviously I would be left with what you have right now. Suppose your question right now is, are Apple products good, or are Apple products worth their price? Are Apple products worth their price? In this question, ARER is a stop word. Apple products worth their is a stop word. So obviously I'll have to drop them. Once I drop them, I'll get a reduced question, which I plan to collect in this list called final words. Okay? Now, how do I get a lemma of a word? Nothing has to be done, no magashmari. You make an object of word net lemmatizer. I repeat, you make an object of word net lemmatizer, and this word net lemmatizer you are kind of dumping into this variable word underscore lemmatize. So you have an object of word lemmatizer which can quickly form a lemmatize of a word. Now what happens to when you form a lemmatization, when you do lemmatization of a word, the lemmatizer needs what role the word is playing in the given sentence. Is the word playing the role of a noun, or a verb, or an adverb, or an adjective, or a pronoun, or something else? Now how do we know that? Manually, we're not going to sit back and scan every question. We're not like, we don't have so much of time. 1 lakh, 5 lakh questions, how can we scan? So what we should do? What we will do is, we will give our entire question to this method called pause underscore tag, where pause stands for part of speech. Part of speech underscore tag. I'm sure all of us would have forgotten part of speech. We learned it in 8th standard. Run Martin book, CBSE, SSC, ICC syllabus. Run Martin is common book for English grammar for all. Today there is a possibility you will be teaching your niece, nephew, or kids. Possibility. So I would give you a 10 minutes video after the session ends, or is almost about to end. I will put it on the chat, and one of the backend team members will pick up that video from the chat and put it on the Moodle also. 10 minutes video, that's it. In 10 minutes, your entire part of speech would get revised from a teacher who's teaching on YouTube. I found the teacher's way of teaching very well, and what he was speaking was also quite relevant. Simple part of speech he was teaching to the kids, school kids, of how the English sentence can be broken into different part of speech. So in 10 minutes, you'll get an idea. What the teacher is doing in 10 minutes in the video of breaking a sentence, or you can also look at over here. Let's say that if I go down to pause, tagging, and just put it on Google, pause tagging NLP. Okay, and just go to the images section. Now, this is your part of speech tagging per se. Just click on this. I'm sure you can look at my screen. So it is becoming clear. It become clear in a minute. Wait. Yes. See this now. Bob made a book collector happy the other day. So Bob is a subject. It's a noun. Made is an action. So it's a verb. A book collector is also an object, and it is actually consisting of a compound noun, so called as a book collector, where a is an article, book is a noun. Sorry, book is an adjective in this case, and collector is a noun in this case. So when you break a sentence and start giving it what role it plays in this given sentence. You are doing a part of speech. This is not possible for human to do it. This is automated. This part of speech tagging is entirely automated with the existing library in Python. How to do it? Let's see that. So what we're doing is, if you notice, friends, you have got your entire question text in the term called entry. Somebody's audio is on by mistake. Vaishali, your audio is on.
I request everyone, please mute your mic, everyone.
Okay. Right. So what we can see here, friends, is I picked up my entire question text and dumped it in the variable called entry, as you could see. So see what we're doing. The entry is an entire question, no? So pause tag method will tag every word of the question text, exactly what you saw on the Google image right now. If this word is noun, pronoun, and it will actually identify compound noun, and from compound noun, it's going to further also identify what is an adjective and what is a noun, vagera, vagera. Once it is done, this for loop is going to pick. This for loop is going to pick the word and its respective tag. It's going to pick the word and its respective tag. So the word is, let's say, the tag is article. The word is book, the tag is noun, kind of. And so once that is done, I come here and checking if the word is not in the stop words list and the word is alphabetic. Let's say the word is ABC 1 to 3. I don't want it there because I don't want alphanumeric words in my text corpus for analysis. So if word not in stop words, that means that the word is not an English stop word and is alphabetic in nature, only then I wish to lematize my word, and after lemmatizing my word, whatever lemmatized or lemma of the word which I have got, I'm appending it into the final words list. Okay, I hope this is going clear to each one of you. Right, at least logically it has gone clear to you. Now, this thing will continue because in the continue and continue, you're going to get all the words appended to your final words. So when one sentence or one question gets converted like this, I'm converting that one question back into a string from list of words back into a string and dumping it into my train, that is my train data frame, under a new column called question text final. So there are two columns now. Text, other is question text final. Okay? Yeah. Again, somebody's audio is turned on. Dr. Kavita, your audio is turned on by mistakenly. Please keep it off. Okay. So I hope this is going clear to each one. I don't think this code is missed. This code should be completely there. Friends, before I started explaining to you, I'm speaking for last 10 minutes continuously. I could see my clock. So from 10 minutes, cell is running actually. This cell will take minimum 15-20 minutes to run. Minimum. Okay. So you want to ask me some doubts, everything you ask me later. First, you ensure that you run this cell. Please run this cell. Okay. Is the cell's code entirely there? Can anybody confirm to me? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. So Mulim has confirmed that the code is there. Name default dictionary is not defined. Okay, now people who are working on
So just tag that code, no sir, import NLTK. It's not there in the.
uncomment all the this lines. Import NLTK,
Yeah,
NLTK
thanks sir.
download,
Yeah.
uncomment. Yes, Smita, we have to import WordNet also. If not there on your Colab environment, you have to import that also. I have put all these things as comments actually in the Colab notebook because I don't need them in my Jupyter. So is this there? The part which you can see is commented in my notebook. Is this part there? No, not there. No. How come? I have commented and given it to you. You can uncomment and run them.
So the import statements were not there in the notebook. These import statements were not there. So when we had to add them.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So you can post them on the chat.
I have done that. No, I have done import NLTK.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So how many people have been able to at least start running with this cell? Your kernel will come busy for about 10-15 minutes. That's okay. But at least you're not getting an error and your cell is started running. Good. Started running or cell running, at least put that to me. Cell running, started running, kuch dalo. So that I come to know how many people are in the running state. So there are two states now in the class. One is debugging state, other is running state. So how many people in the running state? Okay. So majority people are in the running state. Very good. So this is the time that we should look at the code, which is immediately post this. Please again carefully look at the code which is given immediately after the previous cell. Do you see the code is same, ditto same, but now it is done over question text? Please see comfortably in your notebook that is the next code cell same as above, but done for question text. Instead of doing it for the train data, I'm doing it now over the test data. And I hope the next code is also complete. So let the previous cell keep running. Let the previous cell keep running. Please come to this cell and also say control enter or click the run button to allow it to run. This guy will automatically get queued. So moment that running finishes, this guy was running will come. Now, friends, as your training cell is running, then testing cell will keep running. There is a possibility that our time 115 may get exhausted and these cells are still in the running phase. They will be. Your cells may be in the running phase up till 2:30, 3 o'clock also. lecture will end, but cells will keep running. But you have understood what the code is there, and it will keep on running on its own. It will take time. Okay, so don't get angry on your system. The code is large, the data is large, so it is taking time. Right. Now, can I summarize that, that till this point, all of us have been able to complete this much part? And I'm asking you, I'm not telling you. I'm just asking. I have changed all my text to lowercase. I have tokenized the words. I have stopped the words. I have dropped the stop words. I have removed the non-alphabetic text. I have limitized my words. Yeah, my cells are running. That's okay. They will take their own time. Now the last job. Before you apply the ML. ML is chutki or kam. Notice in the entire life cycle. Applying ML and getting the results 20 minutes work. The rest 2 or 40 minutes you are struggling with the data only. This is your real life scenario. You have taken real data given by Quora to you. So next is converting the text data into vectors. Now this is the last step which you have to do. And if I do this, data processing is over. Data processing rather is over. How to do it? Please recall. I had used TF-IDF vectorizer in FDP2 with the objective. Why I use there? Because I wanted to teach you bag of word models and TF-IDF vectorizer with the objective that when I get a chance in FDP3, if I get the privilege to meet all of you in FDP3, which I have got, so I should be able to use it directly without any further explanation. So what is TF-IDF vectorizer doing? Full form is term frequency, inverse document frequency. Vectorizer means converting text into numeric vectors. So first, TF-IDF vectorizer object which we made above, which we made here, we are making it fit. Fit means we are making him learn what kind of words we have in the text. This fellow will find a unique number of words, will find term frequency and inverse document frequency of every word. Friends, I had given a blog link of TF-IDF vectorizer in the FDP2. So in case if you can go on to Moodle and possibly check or possibly connect with somebody else on the group who have attended FDP2, they can share the notebook or the blog link of this. Or you can do a little Googling and you'll get the answer also for it. Okay, how this works. So TF-IDF vectorizer has already done the learning of the words and found the term frequency, inverse document frequency of every word. Yeah, basically some numbers. Now what I'm doing is I am transforming my question text final. Remember, question text final is different from question text. Question text final has no stop words. Question text final has no punctuation or no special characters. It is neat and clean words without stop words. So once this transformation has been done and I get my answer into trainx TF-IDF, similarly I done the same step over my test data to get the answer in text x TF-IDF. I tell you very honestly, this step will also take, I've run this cell. This cell also got queued now. This itself will take 15 minutes to run. So 15 plus 15 plus 15, 45 minutes to yahi ho gaya. We have crossed the lecture timing actually. But they will have to run. But because I've run them previously, so I have some sample output to show you. TF-IDF vectorizer, which is created in the above case, has the words listed which it feels are important. So the vocabulary which has got, vocabulary means list of words. So the vocabulary which got created in the TF-IDF, due to the TF-IDF vectorizer, the vocabulary made is so and so. It says that the word child is coming at the index 6314. It's not coming for 6314 times. No, it's not a frequency count here. This is vocabulary. Vocabulary means which all words are coming and at what index. You wonder now what is index meaning here. Now what is TF-IDF doing now? TF-IDF is maintaining a vector of every word inside it. So for the word called child, which is a part of the first question, the word called child is a part of the first question, therefore it is coming here first. Its vector is found or its vector is available at the index 6314. For the word abuse, the index is available at the word, no sorry, is available at the index 178, so on and so forth. Now, in case I have commented this line, in case if anybody wishes to print and look at those vectors, then you are welcome to do that. There are some basic some numbers, train X TF IDF. So you could possibly uncomment this line and print it. I have kept this line in your collab notebook also. In case if it is not there, then if you wish you can do it, and I've kept it commented. Okay, Vaishali says I'm getting attribute error. Float object has no attribute lower. Okay. Vaishali, these errors will keep propping up actually because data is very huge. You will have to rerun this cell again. That is a problem that happens actually. So you'll have to rerun the cell again. That means starting from here. Starting from here to rerun the cell again. Nothing more. Nothing more has to be done.
सर np.random seed से रन करना है क्या आगे?
नहीं np.random state से नहीं, उसके आगे से रन करना है. करेक्ट, इसके नेक्स्ट सेल से, यहाँ से जहाँ आपने क्या है रिमूव स्टॉप कोड्स एंड न्यूमेरिक डेटा, ये वापस रन करना पड़ेगा.
ओके सर.
Okay. Now, Vandana says she's got the answer, but I'm quite sure the time has come that different people will start getting the answers, and quickly they will get the outputs for the different cells which are still running. In my case, they're still running, as you could see. Okay. Now, data pre-processing is completely over now. Now comes the time of applying the ML algo. Now pay a lot of attention, please. For the next 15 minutes, pay a lot of attention. Please notice that using ML algorithms to predict the output, which I have shown here, this is not there in your coding cells. In fact, if you notice, the coding cells are saying write this code. Please notice this cell should be blank in your case. Set the training data set on the naive-Bayes classifier. All of us know the naive-Bayes classifier is very popular. Done is create an object of the naive-Bayes classifier for classifying. I went to my training data set, my data frame, and column called target. And I brought the column target into a variable, this dummy variable called train underscore y. Looks decent, no? Train y, train x, अच्छा लगता है देखने को. So naive-Bayes ML model is being fit to the train X TF-IDF data, which I don't have it right now because you can see my previous cells are still running. Kernel is busy, so I don't have this data right now. So if I do it right now, I'll get error because this data is not ready. Okay, so I don't want to run it so that I can show you my previous outputs. So what I notice is I did my naive-Bayes data. I told him to go and learn the vectors generated from the training data and the target is holding 0 or 1. So for every question you are having vectors. I repeat, for every question you are having vectors, and for those vectors you are having whether the vector is a 0 or a 1. If the vector is a 0, that means the question is sincere, non-toxic. If the train y value is 1, that means that vector is toxic, a harmful question. Now, someone over here may get confused because you may feel that ki trainx TF-IDF to vocabulary was showing some index positions of the words. Yes, let me explain what it means. Suppose the first question is, are Apple, why I'm showing all small case, because you have converted to small case. Are Apple products, in fact R will also not be there. Are Apple products worth the price? Are Apple products good? So I'll just put a very simple question. Are Apple products good? R was dropped because it is a stop word. So what is left with you? 3 words. Apple products good. Now the vocabulary that has got formed, the vocabulary that has got formed. Excuse me, somebody's audio is on. Excuse me, somebody's audio is on. So I was trying to mention that if I have a question called Apple products good, then if I assume that the Apple in the vocabulary which you have got formed, if you see if there are 1 lakh questions, your vocabulary should be about 4 lakh or 5 lakh words. So even if your vocabulary of 1 lakh words, assume after dropping all the stop words, the vocabulary is of 1 lakh words, assume, then this is coming at the index 4000 shouldn't surprise you, no? This is coming at the index 82,000 shouldn't surprise you. This is coming at the index 739. It's okay. Different words are going to come at different indexes. That's okay. So in your vocabulary, when I printed the vocabulary, I was coming to know that the vector of the word apple is stored at the index 1000. So at the index 1000, I have a vector, and that vector is basically a single numeric value, let's say minus 0.58. This is the TF-IDF. This is a term frequency into inverse document frequency of this particular word apple with respect to the entire document. At the position 739, you have the TF-IDF value of the word good. Let's say it is 0.122. So like this, you have some numbers. And this is what ML understands. This is a food for ML. Please understand, this is a food for ML. Now, let's say if you have a fish tank at home, what food you feed to the fish, you can't eat it, right? But the fish can eat it, no? So this is the same way. This is a food not for you. This is a food for your ML model. Simple. Now, from these indexes, we are able to form a vector. So the first vector for the first question is going to be minus 0.58, 0.112. Oh no, 0.112 will be third element, sorry. Suppose for products it is 0.32. Suppose for products it is 0.32. So 0.32. And the third word is going to be 0.112. So for the first question, this is the vector of TF-IDFs of the 3 respective words. And for this vector, you have given a target in the training data set as 0. So what is ML model learning? कि अगर ये vector आएगा तो 0 होता है. Similarly, if I copy this vector, or maybe little Apple products are not good. A question है क्या? Apple products are not good. This is a question. This is a toxic question, or an example of an insincere question. So let's assume that if I had minus 0.58, 0.22, 0.05, and it is labeled as 1. So what ML model is learning, that if there is a vector of this kind, it is to be marked as 1. So he finds all those vectors which are marked as 1 and understands the pattern or the range of the vectors. And all those vectors which are marked as 0 understands the pattern and the range of the values given here. This is what is learning. अब वो पढ़ाई करके गया अपनी एग्जाम के पहले, अच्छी बात है. So what you did was you made the model fit, then you made the model predict on test data. You got some predictions. I printed the predictions. You will say predictions are horrible. I see only 0 or 1. What else will you see? What else will you see in predictions? So predicting the test data vectors or text vectors will give me either a 0 or a 1. Now question is that this is going to truncated. Obviously, but there are 10,000 records. 10,000 vectors in test data. You can't expect 10,000 zeros and ones to come here. So what you should do is you can use numpy.unique to find how many values of zeros and ones have I got. And I was shocked. I was shocked to see that I've got only 5 ones. Oh my God. That means in 10,000 question set, there are only 5 toxic questions. Only 5. Huh, sir, there should only be 5. How there should be 5? Tell me. When on the training data set you got 6% as toxic questions. If I take 6% of 10,000, there should have been 60. No, there should have been 600 toxic questions. 6% of 10,000. Am I wrong? Am I right? Tell me. If I take that the train data set and test data set are equally distributed, they are following a similar probability distributions with like common sense of finding the mean of the number of words and then unique words and vagera, which we did in the EDA part, then in the test data set, you should have got at least close to 300 or 400 or 500 toxic questions. I'm shocked that I got very only 5 toxic questions. This is too much. That means my naive classification approach, I don't think so, has done a good job. But I have no proof. I think with common sense it's not done a good job. But I have no proof. So what to do now? What we will do? We will see what we will do. Not next what I have done. Okay. Friends, in the meantime, you have to also copy the codes. No? So fit the training data set on the naive Bayes classifier. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to copy all these codes into a text file. I'm going to copy all these codes into a text file. Okay. So, and I'm going to put a, follow my instructions very well, please. I'm going to put a dividing margin like this. Understand this kind of a symbol is partitioning between the cells. And I will share the text file with one of the team members of the organizing committee and they will put it on the collab. So right now, please first follow rather than copy pasting the code because you can't run it any which ways because it's your previous cells are still running. And even if you run this cell, this guy will itself take 10 minutes to run. This guy will not take 10 minutes to run. This guy will run in 2 minutes. The others will take time. Now what I've done is, whatever predictions I have got, I thought that I should put those predictions into my test data frame. So I went to my test data frame. I made a new column called predictions NB and I put all the predictions there. So for every test question, beside there is 0 or a 1. Then I thought that I should count, I should locate all those questions which have 1. You know that there are 5 questions having as 1 toxic questions. I dumped them into this variable and I thought that I should, from my data frame toxic questions NB, I found the question text and did a head. So this is what I got. Okay. And so these questions, according to the system, are toxic questions. Again, I'm going to punch this code. I think this code is also not there. Then you get a single text file without missing any code. Otherwise, in the chatting and all that stuff, you may miss some code, and this is critical. I don't want anybody to lose on any code over here. Now I should check my accuracy. Sir, check कैसे करेंगे? That's a problem. No? That is a problem. How will we check the accuracy? Because your testing data set doesn't have a target column. So how will you check accuracy? So see what I'm doing. To predict the accuracy, what I'm doing is I'm taking the first 5,000 records of the trained data set. So I told the naive Bayes model, chalo, you go and predict. I told naive Bayes model, chalo, you go and predict over the first 5,000 records of the training data frame. Remember, training data frame is having 3 columns: question ID, question text, and target. The target is there with you. This is the original target given by Quora to us. So, train X TF IDF, I'm picking the first 5,000 records and dumping it in the variable testing NB. I took the training from the training data frame. I took the target value 0101 jo hai. For the first 5,000 records, dumped it in the variable labels NB. So now I've got 2 things: testing NB having 5,000 vectors, labels NB having labels of those 5,000. These labels could be either a 0 or a 1. Now I'm doing a simple no brain work accuracy score. I got 93.32. So neighbor is not doing a bad job. But still, I told you, no, we don't have a proof. So now we have written half the proof, 93.32. So this is the accuracy which I used. So on whatever data naive model was trained, on the same data, I tested it also, and I got the accuracy as 93.32, which is not bad. But the problem is that we should not use accuracy as a measuring factor for measuring the accuracy for a machine learning model which is trained on unbalanced data set. It's not a question that it is a rule, but it's a protocol that we should try and follow as far as possible. See here. Don't use accuracy score as a metric with imbalanced data sets. They will usually be very high. It's not in this case. In all the cases, they will usually be very, very high. Accuracy is going to be very high. Will be usually high and misleading. Instead, use F1 score, precision or recall, or confusion metrics. Or other option is you balance your data set by random undersampling, जो हम लोग कर रहे हैं. Other technique which we are not doing is smooth, SMOTE, oversampling, smooth oversampling or random undersampling. We have done random undersampling. So what I've done, I've imported all my different metrics, and I thought of finding the classification report, the precision value, and the recall value, and last, the value for F1 score. Actually, frankly speaking, F1 score is basically the harmonic mean of precision and recall both. So if I give you, this is very confusing, no? If I give you 2 models, one is a machine learning model A and B, and tell you to compare करो दोनों को. एक machine learning model में please मान लीजिए कि precision is coming very high, very good, but recall is coming low. Second model, precision is coming low and recall is coming high. This is a very common situation in classification algorithms trained on unbalanced data set. Now in this situation, though, it is impossible to compare these 2 algorithms because their value of precision recalls are not same. So what you should do instead is don't use them. Use F1 score. And F1 score is basically a harmonic mean of precision and recall. So it becomes one single parameter on the basis of which you can compare 2 algorithms in classification category. So that's what I've done here. So I found all that stuff, and I'm going to put this piece of code also on the code cell. And I've given some extra links for extra reading related to F1 score. I had given my documentation of F1 score in the FDP1 or 2, I don't know. I had given that from our company website itself, but in case if you like to read something more, you have it here. Analyze the output. I have got a pathetically bad F1 score. See this. Ideally, F1 score should be close to 1. You've got 0.03. Ridiculous. Yes, it is indeed ridiculous. Because see, precision is 0.01, recall 0.85. Recall is high. Recall high means if I use this model on the same data set again and again and again, he's going to give me the same answer, same answer, same answer. That means he can tell me the wrong answer number of times. He can classify the same data set again and again, shamelessly. But he's recalling. He has very sharp memory. He's a lot of badam every day. He's a badam fellow. High recall. Very nice. But precision is low. You know what is the truth and what he's saying is different. This is not correct. नहीं बोल रहा है लेकिन it's like a multimeter. I give you a multimeter in hand. That multimeter gives me wrong answer every time. But he gives me the wrong answer every time, the same wrong answer. He doesn't fluctuate. His wrong answer doesn't fluctuate. I measure a battery of 1.5 volt. He tells me the battery is 1.48 volt. And he tells me 1.48 volt always. Interesting. So precision is very low. Recall is very high. This is very difficult to compare like this. Take the F1 score, please. F1 score is 3%, 0.03. I'm saying it should be close to 100% के close होना चाहिए. Oh, this model is a reject. Exactly. This model is a reject. So what should I do next? Next, I should go for next one more classifier without any further explanation. I'll just, the code is there in front of you. This is a different classifier called SPM classifier. Same steps repeated, nothing. I have just changed the name of the classifier ML model. I did this. The more interesting part is I got a much better output this time. Please have a look. Got 205 toxic questions. Happy. It's improving. So that's going quite close to like ideal figure would be 500 or 600, and 205 is a good number of toxic questions in the 10,000 set question which we have. Okay. And just thought of printing the toxic questions. This is the same code what we did last time. Ditto same code, no difference. We printed the toxic questions here. After printing the toxic questions, ditto same repeat code. I found the accuracy, precision, recall F1 for naive Bayes. Now I am finding all of those parameters for SVM. Nothing different. I've given extra links in case if people want to know what is ideal score for F1. Ideal score for F1 is 1. Ideal is 1, but in no model you ever get 1. But even if I get 0.5 or 0.6, it is very good F1 score. So I've given some links also for additional reading, because that is a common doubt which come in among the audiences. See what F1 score I've got now. 0.49. 0.49. My goodness, yes. Where is 0.03? Where is 3%? Where is 49%? You guys are all intelligent to understand that for this data set, the SVM classifier is performing much better than the naive Bayes classification. Okay. Now, what else have I done? Then there is a discussion time, but we don't have time for discussion. So lots of techniques are there for handling unbalanced data. Two best techniques are undersampling or oversampling. Either you oversample the minor class or you undersample the, I repeat, or you undersample the major class. I prefer to undersample the major class. So let's balance our data set and try once again over the entire data. How will you do that? Simple. Let's understand that you are having approximately 6,200 or 6,000 cases in the minor class. So if I can make one is all of the minor class, and I will take out of 94,000 records, I will take only 6,200 or 6,100 records from the major class. Okay, so I'm doing random undersampling of the major class. So how to do it? Please be very careful. This figure has to be changed by all of you. I've given 6130 because I got 6130. Some of you may have got for 6267. Some of you may have got Indrajit, I know the text which I'm showing you not there in the collab. I know that. I know that. Text I will not give you. Text was just for explanation. But the code I will be giving you. Don't worry about this code. Actually, this code is not to be given because there's discussion time. It is supposed to be given as an assignment to all of you. So I'll give it as an assignment to all of you. But listen to me what I'm trying to say first. So since our classes are highly skewed, we would make them equivalent so that we are able to have two sets of around 12,000 approximate records. So how do we do it? Is I'm taking all the insincere questions, all of them. But from the sincere questions, that is from the non-toxic questions, I'm only taking 6,100 or 6,200. From where did I get this figure? This is a figure which you have got because you have these many number of toxic questions. Okay. So having said this, what I've done now is I have made a new data frame which contains of 12,260 records. ये कहाँ से आया मुझे figure? I have 6130 records for testing, 6130 records for training. So I have added them. Therefore, I got simple. This figure may change. You may have 12,500, 12,200, 12,800. ऐसा हो सकता है depending upon this figure. Okay. Now, once you balance the data set, next step is complete repeat, which you will do yourself. I am only going to give you the balanced data set up till the balanced data set code. Remember, once you have got a balanced data set, a new DF, all of you will repeat your step. You will ask Rocky sir, what step you want to repeat? You have to repeat the step, no? Your new data frame is having the normal text-based questions. So these text-based questions have to undergo the same pre-processing steps, no? Removing the stop words, lemmatizing the word, and then converting. It's the same code, repeat above. कुछ नहीं difference किया मैंने. Then you have to go ahead. Of course, I printed this to see my data, and then I have to go ahead doing a TF-ID vectorizer of my balanced data set of 12,600 records. And then finally, I checked the shape of my data. I can see that yes, it got 12,260 records. Target also same. Obviously, they will be same. They will not differ. Then I applied over the balanced data. I applied over the balanced data. Same thing, what you are applying over unbalanced, you are applying, repeating the same code again over the balanced data. I applied the name bias classifier. See what I have got. 90.16. Previously, my friends, you got 93, which was wrong answer. 90.16 is still answer going towards accurate. This is still not accurate, right? No, it's still not accurate. To get a more accurate answer, we are doing something called as cross validation. Cross validation means instead of applying only, see now you are having 12,260 records, and what we are doing is we are training on this data and testing on a very small fraction of it. Instead of that, why don't you do this thing? Why don't we train on all 12,260 and also test on all of this? Sir, how can we test on all this? Why can't we do it? We can do this by using cross validation. Cross validation as a topic was already covered in FDP 2. And some trainers I could see on their videos have also spoken about cross-validation in theoretical part in the morning lectures in FDP1 also. So anyways, if you do not know about it, there's no problem. You know that you do not know about it is more important. So you can research on it. It's very simple. So cross-validation does what? He will take this data and divide it into some folds. Let's say if I keep the folds as k equal to 10. Then if I keep k equal to 10, then what is going to happen? My model will run first time in loop 1, where I will take 12. What is 10% of this? 1, 2 to 6. Okay. I will take 1, 2 to 6 records for testing and the rest all for training. In the loop 2, I will take the next, I repeat my words, I'll take the next 1, 2 to 6 records for testing, and whatever is left, I'll take it for training. Look at this diagram. It will be super easy to understand. See what we're doing. So we divide our entire data set, let's say, into 5 folds, 10 folds, your choice. So entire data, let's say, have 10,000 records. You divide it into 5 parts, 2,000 each. You will take the first 2,000 records, you'll keep it aside, use the rest 8,000 for training, and the first 2,000 for testing. And you'll get some particular metric value. You'll get some particular accuracy value of this first test. Write it here. Write the accuracy here. Next, you take the second lot of 2,000 records and keep the rest 8,000 records for training. You'll get one more accuracy figure for this. Correct? So you got 5 accuracy figures. Take an average of it. That is going to be more accurate accuracy than actually banking on one particular figure. That's what this code does. This code, because it's not a repeat of the previous part, I'll definitely give it to you. Now, what I got was the cross-validated accuracy of the naive Bayes model is actually 82.54%. Where were we? 93% first time. Then we did balancing. We got 90%. वो भी सच नहीं था, वो भी झूठ था. Then we did cross validation. See what we have got. 82.5%. This is the accurate figure. 82.54% is the accurate figure of naive Bayes classification. So you will say, "Arey sir, SPM will be better." To be very honest, I knew this notebook was going longer than required. So I tried SVM also, roughly. And I got that the accuracy of SVM is also coming almost similar to this. It is coming 1% more. It is coming 1% more, 83 point something. But it was very close to this for SVM. Okay, right? So I hope you are getting this very clearly. Right. So, friends, what I'm going to do now is, if you notice my kernel was busy now, it has got free. So my kernel has got free. Let me show you only one running, Only one running. And I'll print this vocabulary. TF-ID, vectorizer I've done. Yeah, this is done. I'll print the vocabulary. Vocabulary has come. Now I will just run the naive Bayes, only the naive Bayes part. Okay. This time it gave me that there are 7 toxic questions it is found. I'm just showing some of the toxic questions here. And last, I'm just printing the accuracy just to show you on screen. 93.78, which is misleading. Trust me, it is absolute misleading. And then I thought of printing precision and everything, and I got an F1 score. See the F1 score, don't see anything else. See the F1 score only. My God, it's gone even further less. It's 2.5% now. See, So F1 score of 2.5%, not good at all. Let us see what SVM says. And purposefully running the code in front of you, friends. I could have said code, chalo ab hum session band karte hain, code mein de deta hu aapko. But you should be satisfied that yes, in the video the code has ran. So Rocky sir's code ran, so that means my code should also run. If something doesn't run, something misses, is not problem with the code, maybe problem with the dependencies. Okay, this code will take about 1 or 2 minutes to run. Let it run. Let it take its own time. Now, when SVM finishes his work, I would like to find then the accuracy score of SVM, and I'm dead sure that SVM score of SVM would be definitely better than that of naive Bayes. I'll keep this also for running. Now, let it keep running. And there is this theory part. Indrajit said is not there, no problem. So I will put this theory part. So lots of techniques. This is the first theory part. I'll put that also here. And this is another window now. This is another text cell window where I'm going to put. Let's balance the data set. It doesn't, the down arrow doesn't work because down arrow will take the next cell. That's a problem. So copied exactly the cell content. Right, Indrajit, so you can watch that you have got the content exactly cell by cell. There is some own coding that has to be done here. Some own coding to be done here because it's a repeat of the above. What is the own coding to be done? The own coding to be done is the text preprocessing wala code. That means finding the lemma, dropping the stop words, and lastly, yeah, that's it. Finding the lemma and dropping the stop words. And the second part of it is doing TF-IDF. These two codes you have to copy from the previous, make the required data frame name changes, and put it here. This should be your task to do. Take it as an assignment. There were 2 assignments. One is to complete this notebook, and another is going to be Tableau work. 2 assignments. And assessment would be on the basis of what answers you have got for this. Okay, because in the video recording you can see what answers I have got. So obviously you should get similar answers, right? Okay, sure. So from my end, things have finished. I'd like to give it control to the committee members. Yep.
Thank you so much, Rocky sir, for hands-on session on the data science. We'll again meet at 5 p.m. as usual. Please be on time, everyone, and join the session so that we can start early and we can finish early. Thank you so much once again.
Yeah. Thank you.
Rathod sir.
Thank you, sir, Pramod sir.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Rocky sir. We'll meet at 5 o'clock.
Yeah. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.